Night Legacy here at MTGCardmarket. I am Phil Silverman, joined by my lovely host, as always.
I am lovely. My name is Greg Schaefer.
Co-host, I should have said. I misspoke.
That is me.
Yeah. Greg's here. I'm here. We have a mysterious shoulder, which is the shoulder of one Ryan Bogner.
Bogner, actually.
Bogner. Thank you. Ryan Bogner, who is going to join us for probably just this match.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Maybe just this game.
Yeah.
We have a match setting up. We are bringing to you live from Chicago, Illinois right now. 3 rounds of Legacy, I believe. We have 10 players. Got players setting up right now. Looking to resolve some mulligans. Kyle Norman going to be on the left. And,
Oh, never mind.
yeah, you're right there.
Yeah,
Kyle Norman on the left and Brandon on the right.
We're good.
Just a shout out to Mr. Schaefer for qualifying for his first Pro Tour.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I was going to bring it up like 18 times.
He's coming after me in Pro points. What are you at right now, Schaefer?
I have 2.
You have 2 Pro points. Well,
I'm guaranteed 3 more.
So you'll be at least like
5.
in competition. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
After how many
that doesn't pass me.
How many do you get for going 11 and 5? Because that's the goal.
You get 10.
11 and 5.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's 10.
Wait, why 11 and 5?
That's the
So
one that qualifies you for the next Pro Tour.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You know I went 11-4-1 in my first Pro Tour.
And that did not re-qualify you at that point in time?
I ended up 48th, and
Oh,
it was
God,
the
it was-
first Pro Tour that required you to top 25.
Oh my god! Which one was that? The
Honolulu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got to go to Hawaii.
And I got like $1,500.
Yeah.
Still not ideal.
No,
I would say.
no. Yeah.
All right, looks like Brandon Mully getting to 6 here. Kyle happy with the sand. Kyle's playing a pretty interesting version of this World Gorger deck. I think he has self-described it as pretty loose.
When it works,
like,
it will be sweet.
But
Yes.
but I mean, loose is like okay.
Yeah,
Right.
loose is fine. I mean, you have an infinite combo in your deck. You have Force of Will. You have Ponder, Brainstorm. Like,
I mean, it's certainly more fun to watch.
oh yeah, exactly. Brandon looks like he's going to be on Jeskai Stoneblade, but it does look like he's going to 5 cards here. Hasn't been able to find a hand he's happy with.
Yikes.
Question: does Brandon know what Kyle's playing?
I doubt it.
Does Brandon know the cards, what the cards do in Kyle's deck?
Maybe. So, Swords to Plowshares breaks up this combo, right?
Yes.
Yes. Sort of.
With the World Gorger trigger on the stack, you swords it?
Yeah.
Well-
Well, there are 2 triggers.
Or the Exile trigger?
No, the
Or the
yes, with
Exile
with,
Permanence trigger?
with the Enter the Battlefield trigger on the stack, you swords it. So then the Leave Play trigger goes on the stack where you return them, and then the first one resolves.
Okay.
So that ends up very poorly for Kyle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I expect that with Gitaxian Probe, he might have all the information he needs.
All right, so it looks like Brandon's hand is pretty reasonable. I mean, he does have a Swords to Plowshares, he has a Ponder, and a Stoneforge Mystic. Unfortunately, drew the Batter Skull, but he has theoretically an out to do something here.
But he only has a volcanic island.
Yeah, so I guess
It's
he's
just problematic.
it is problematic at the point, but
So I mean, he's got to be pondering here. And if I'm Kyle, I actually counter that ponder.
Yeah.
if I have one,
I
one,
actually think that might be right.
I think we probably will see him do that if I think he has a force in hand, right? Did we see it? Or a counter in general?
I'm not certain.
Yeah.
Thalia, I also want to see Eldrazi, but the player who intended to play it tonight did not show up.
Yeah, Bob screwed us.
Yes. So you could blame Bob for that one.
I was
All the
talking to Bob
spaghettis.
too about it, and he said he was going to show up and play Eldrazi. And we had a list even. And
So this
where
is
is
a
he?
good
Where's
ponder.
Bob?
I think he has to keep it. It's Gitaxian Probe, Underground Sea, and Brainstorm, which is kind of what you want to see here, I think, unless he's looking for a specific piece. But that gets a lot of velocity through the deck and something that I think is worthwhile.
It's also a second land, which he doesn't have right now.
Correct. I think you have to keep it.
It seems like he's keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drawing Brainstorm.
He's got Animate Dead in his hand, but he doesn't currently have a way to put the dragon into his yard, nor does he have the dragon.
So the spells in his hand include Cunning Wish, Brainstorm, another Probe, Mystical Teachings.
Mystical Teachings. That's the one that I think is
Little
Solus?
loosey-goosey.
a little bit.
I mean, that's like the opposite of what you want to be doing in a World Gorger deck.
Yeah.
Tapping 4 mana.
Correct. To not just immediately win the game.
Interestingly, Brandon kept his Ponder.
But he didn't keep the land.
At least not this turn. He drew Pyroblast for a turn and Brainstorm off of the Ponder.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Like, you just want to play your land because, like, World Gorger. Oh, I guess he doesn't.
Well, no,
know
yeah.
that
Yeah, that was his
World
first
Gorger-
turn.
Yeah.
He can draw
It was also
next
his first turn.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah.
Kyle main phase brainstorming here.
Yeah, Dutch Mystical Teachings is in this deck.
I believe several copies of Mystical Teachings.
What is it even exactly for?
The kill.
Okay.
You make infinite mana, you Teachings for Blue Sun Zenith.
Oh, okay.
Or Teachings for Wish, which gets Blue Sun Zenith or whatever. You Teachings for, like, you could also Teachings for, I don't know, other instance in the deck that
Yeah.
I assume exist. I'm not going to, I'm not an expert as to what is exactly in the contents of Kyle's deck. Entomb is another option.
Yeah.
Which
You're not
might
a
be
mystical
good here.
tutor.
Entomb actually seems great. I mean, he's just, a couple lands away from doing it. He has a third land in his hand at the moment. But he's going to need the fourth, and this is, a very slow setup.
Apparently, Motobot is trying to stop all the fun in chat.
Yeah. The caps is pretty aggressively.
Cows don't like caps.
Yeah, goes after the chat pretty hard. So we see Brandon's hand again. We see the new cards being that Pyroblast and that Brainstorm that he found last turn. We'll see if he can find a second land. It'll be pretty important to at least challenging what Kyle's doing. Otherwise, we might just see him hold a Pyroblast. Third Gitaxian Probe coming down, dropping Kyle down to 12. He knows his life total's not under much duress. Ooh, he did find a Thoughtseize, though?
It seems good. Thoughtseize your World Gorger Dragon. Get ready to go off next turn.
Doesn't have the dragon in his hand.
Oh, he doesn't?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Thoughtseizing.
I think he's going to take
Brandon.
the Brainstorm. Or
Brainstorm's-
maybe he takes Plow because it protects his combo.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Okay.
Kyle being very aggressive with his life total in this matchup, which I think is completely reasonable.
Yeah, no reason to cool
Turns out
it.
Stoneblade is not trying to be the aggressor.
Ooh, Brandon did hide that land on top of his deck, so
I like that.
So it couldn't be thought. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
hides information. Oh, Kyle did find an important card though. He found the Entomb. He knows that Brandon only has Pyroblast as his interaction, so I believe this is lethal.
That's correct.
Oh, the Brainstorm is the one thing screwing things up. He could Brainstorm into something.
Yeah, fair.
Yep.
Kyle's combo
Now-
does not go off at instant
Kyle
speed.
have
Oh.
No, he does not have a force.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not actually certain what that first card in his hand is.
Cunning Wish.
Ah, I see.
So in response, he's going to Cunning Wish. But I feel like, okay, yeah, so he's Cunning Wish. He's going to probably get a Pact Negation.
We'll see. I mean, I'm sure he has many options for what he could get. That's right. I haven't seen the Judge one.
Is that Tin Fin and Snowy? That's funny. So I'm a big Tintin fan. I actually own all of those books.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's Tin Fin and Snowy.
But I get it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, obviously a reference.
Yes.
The reason you want to play Cunning Wish is you get a lot more options in your sideboard than you can Merchant Scroll for. So, maybe we're talking about why don't we run
Merchant Scroll over
instead of
Teachings.
Teachings. In that case, I completely agree.
Yeah. I mean, the main reason I think would be resiliency to counter magic.
And discard. Because
Yeah.
Mystical Teachings can't you...
Yeah, that's flashback. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
It works.
6 though, right?
Yeah, it works well with
But like when you have
with careful
infinite-
study.
Yeah, it could drag out.
Yeah, I mean, like again, when you have infinite mana, it shouldn't matter. Like the argument against it being good against counter spells is perhaps that if they were going to counter something, they probably counter the Animate Dead or what have
the
you.
combo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's like slightly better against. So he Pyroblasts the.
Cunning Wish.
And now the
Cunning
Brainstorm
Wish.
resolves.
And Brandon
But
still
he-
doesn't have white mana because he had to fetch
Yeah.
a
But now,
red source.
Now he's a Force of Will plus a blue card.
Well,
but
he has to put cards back because Brainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing. Well, he's not gonna be able to cast spells. He doesn't have a third land, and he doesn't have a white source. And the blue card that he has to pitch to Force is True Name.
Yeah, so he's locked for the next 2 turns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not in a great spot.
2 Stoneforge Mystics just in the hand, along with Force of Will and True Name
that
Nemesis.
was-
Oh yeah, and
and Kyle picks up a Force of Will. I think this game is probably done. He does have a blue card to pitch to it, right?
Yeah, Mystical
Teachings.
Teachings.
Yeah,
It
I guess
does.
that's another good reason. Wait a second.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. Like, Kyle can make infinite mana, but then he can't do anything with it because if he Force of Wills, he has to exile the Mystical Teachings.
Yep.
Ooh. That's unfortunate.
All right, Brandon, giving this World Gorger Dragon a read here.
So does he just
Go for it.
well?
He could go for it and not. He has 2 Animate Deads in his hand, so he could go for it and just let it get countered and just go for it again next turn.
Is he? Yeah, so it's gonna get countered. Okay, that makes sense.
I think if you're Kyle, you just say okay.
Yeah, because what is it actually accomplishing if you?
Yeah,
don't-
nothing.
If you.
Nothing. You just make infinite mana and nothing happens.
Yep.
And yeah,
that's
Kyle just lets it
you're
happen.
just baiting it out.
I like this play. I like this patience that Kyle's displaying here.
I mean, he's not under a lot of pressure, right?
No. Brandon has nothing in play that's at this point,
Yeah,
and he knows
GG.
he has the Stoneforge Mystic and the Battle
And he has
Skull.
another force because why not?
That certainly locks it up in the face of Brandon somehow finding another card. All
I
right,
make all the manas.
all right, so he's saying make infinite mana. So the way this works is that World Gorger Dragon comes into play with Animate Dead on it. Kyle floats his mana. World Gorger Dragon exiles all the permanents. In the process, it also exiles that Animate Dead, so it dies. And then
When it dies, there's a trigger that returns all of the permanents to the battlefield.
yeah, so it returns the Animate Dead along with the lands untapped. So you float 3 mana on each rotation. So the Animate Dead just brings it back, and you do it over and over again. So he makes infinite mana. He
Gets a Cunning Wish, gets a Blue Sun Zenith, makes
makes you draw your deck.
Brandon draw his deck,
And that's it.
Brandon is a sad panda.
Game 2
Sweet.
on our way.
Thalia, that is indeed a foil World Gorger.
The sick tech, as it were.
What's kind of interesting about this World Gorger deck is that it generally doesn't play like a lot of its combo pieces. Like you play like 1 or 2 World Gorger Dragons or something like that.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, you're just playing the 7 or 8 reanimation spells because you can either use Animate Dead or Dance of the Dead, I think is the other one.
Right.
Is it Dance or is it the instant speed one?
Necromancy. I think it's Dance of the Dead just because it's 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not instant speed.
That's true, but Necromancy's 3 mana.
I think Kyle plays Dance. I don't know if
This
he
one?
plays Necromancy.
Yeah, but like it's nice to be able to go off at instant speed.
It is.
It is. I won't deny that, especially in a deck with Mystical Teachings and the Cunning Wish and all that business. If only it was a spell. If only it was something you could get off of Cunning Wish.
I mean, that would be sweet.
And it's also awkward that you can't, because it doesn't actually have Flash. It's only you can cast it as though it had Flash. You can't Teachings for it.
Correct, I understand.
It's so close. It's so close to being the perfect card.
Well, so this is what was in Hulk, right? Hulk Flash.
Yeah, I think so. Necromancy, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like that's how you.
You kill them on
Yeah.
their upkeep before
Correct.
they draw a card.
Correct.
That was a fun deck. That was a really exciting time for Legacy.
It's powerful.
Yeah, just by the way, just a note, no emergency bans there. Nothing. You wait.
It's like a
see if the format sorts itself out.
I think it's gonna be hilarious when they like. After the GP, they just like emergency ban Eldrazi. It's like, hey guys, like
We made a mistake.
kidding.
It happens. Many
right.
people have been talking. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
You guys have some fun. I'll see you tomorrow in Houston, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see some of the viewers down there.
Yes.
playing a little standard Magic, which I think right now might be the best format,
I love it.
which is very sad.
I love it. It's great.
It's either that or limited.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
limited
Always.
is always the best format, but I mean of the constructed formats,
Yeah.
I think standard's probably.
It's definitely in the healthiest spot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Legacy's all right.
It's fine,
But-
it's gotten a little bit stale, I would say.
I think the Eldrazi deck is very tier 1,
Uh-huh.
and I think that'll certainly shake things up.
That's correct. Okay.
Legacy. I think it's very good.
There is a Legacy Open this weekend.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm very interested to see the results of this upcoming this Open in Philadelphia because I think the Eldrazi deck will make a big mark on it.
If Eldrazi becomes a thing, I think High Tide comes back as a thing, which makes me so happy.
Oh, do you just need all those rebuilds in your sideboard to bounce the Chalices and Thorns they're all playing?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It would be
As long
kind
as you're prepared.
It would be very entertaining to me to see if High Tide can make a comeback, given that that's sort of a very maligned deck in my mind. People sort of give it a lot of I certainly don't give it a lot of respect.
I
in
imagine
general.
any Storm player is going to be critical of it.
Look, I'm just saying, if you wanna combo off, do it with some style. Do it with Dark Ritual.
I'm just saying, if you want to combo off, make all the mana.
Yeah. All right.
Draw
All
the
right.
cards.
It
Turnabout's
is
a
a lot
fun
more.
card. I get it.
And draw. Well, you also get to draw 7.
That's true.
Which is way
You
better
do.
than what you're
Time
doing.
Spiral is. I disagree. Killing them is more fun than drawing 7 a lot of the time.
I disagree.
That's a fair analysis. Take care, Ryan.
It's
See
a
you tomorrow.
reasonable
Bye-bye.
impasse.
All right, both players looking at their 7-card hands here.
Later, Bogner.
Kyle's got 4 lands among his cards.
Ooh, David L. Byer, thank you very much. I am pretty excited about it.
David, congratulations to you. I saw that you just got married.
Yeah,
That is
was,
incredible.
That's a bigger.
That's a way bigger accomplishment
deal,
than Greg's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but congratulations. Everyone should congratulate David.
He has awesome wedding pictures on Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Brandon started things off. You're going to 19. Looks like fetching up a Tundra. Kyle is excited. I'm happy for him. He's got Force of Will, Pyroblast in his hand, among others. So it looks like he's fairly well insulated against the combo at the moment. Kyle does have that Dance of the Dead in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
We see a Counterspell. Counterspell's a great one.
Tinfin asking what deck
shuffling
is
away.
best against Eldrazi.
I think Death and Dex is really good against it.
Yeah, I think it's solid.
I think Show and Tell is generally good against it, though Endbringer is super annoying.
Yeah, I saw a photo on Facebook of an Emrakul getting tapped by an Embringer.
Not tapped.
Or
Can't attack or block.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a Hoogland picture, right?
Yeah.
Because it said this is the Eldrazi mirror.
Yep.
All right, we see Brandon's hand. He's got Pyroblast, Polluted Delta, Umazau's Jitte, Stoneforge Mystic, Force of Will, Brainstorm. A little surprised to see Jitte still in the deck.
I agree.
I
It
think.
doesn't
Oops.
add much clock. I mean,
I think that in a lot of spots, I'd rather that be some sort of sword of something and something.
yeah, for sure. Like Fire and Ice.
That's awesome, David. I'm glad to hear it went so well. The photos looked amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Kyle drawing off of his Gitaxian Bro finds a Thoughtseize. I mean, that'll at least take care of the Force of Will. I think if you're branding, you just let this one resolve. Nothing you really want to protect here. You have a Brainstorm and a Fetch land. Your hand's going to get better. You can get this Jitte out of there.
Right.
I also feel that Death and Taxes is favored against Eldrazi.
I greatly anticipate the first time I'm able to Flicker Wisp an Endless one. It's going to feel really good.
I did it in Modern, and let me tell you, it wasn't good enough because the rest of my cards were bad.
Okay.
But you have Stoneforge Mystic in your deck. Mother of Runes is pretty embarrassing in that matchup.
Yeah, that'll come out.
It's not often that card comes out, but
It is pretty rare.
yeah. Yeah, Port is pretty great.
Mostly, as usual, Aether Vial is the difference maker, I think.
I mean, you get the mana. I mean, like, you both have, like, a huge mana thing, but, like,
Yeah.
the Eldrazi decks, like, lock cards are really bad against you.
Yep.
Stuff like Chalice of the Void and Thorn of Amethyst are just not cards against...
I imagine Elves is really good against them.
So, I know that Julian Knob thinks it's pretty good, but Ari Lax disagreed. He said that the combination of Chalice and a fast clock was really good. I think that Endbringer is too slow to matter,
I agree.
but I don't think Elves would be that bad against it. Like, as long as you're, like...
Just
I mean,
board
like,
in Decay.
yeah, as always. Like the same way you beat Chalice before, but, like,
Right.
the issue is really that the deck provides a clock
Sure.
along with all this.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems, in my head, it seems like it should be good for Elves.
I agree. I mean, yeah, Trinisphere is another very strong one against Elves. Like, you know, there are a lot of things you have to do to beat that sort of stuff, but, you know... Board your Decays. Reclamation Sage is still an absolute all-star.
Right.
And just don't die to an Endbringer, and I think you'll be favored.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact you can chump anything that's not a Reality Smasher infinitely. All right, Kyle playing his Underground Sea and then probing again. Going down to 14 here, we see 2 pieces of equipment. Another Force of Will, which you found off the Brainstorm. Or actually, I just drew that for Snapcaster Mage and Pyroblast.
This
for
has to
Brandon.
be the most screen time that World Gorger Dragons, like our stream in general, this is the most time World Gorger has seen daylight, like the internet
Yeah.
streaming.
I agree.
Is just ever, probably.
Tuxedo Duck. That is a very interesting idea, and I think you should definitely try that. Playing Ensnaring Bridge in the sideboard of Infect for Eldrazi. You only need 1 card in your hand to
Yeah.
attack.
That's pretty sweet.
It seems like it could be awkward. That's my one worry because you often, I don't know, I feel like that deck sometimes has many cards in its hand.
Yeah, because you have like situational cards that you have to keep holding.
Yes. Meekstone's great. Meekstone has been around Legacy for a long time, and I think it'll be a completely reasonable option going forward.
Huh.
So it looks like Brandon just drew his card and passed, didn't find anything, just holding up Stoneforge Mystic.
You could board Meekstone and Death and Taxes.
And Elves.
Yeah.
Elves used to do it against Dobrog Delver.
Yep.
All right, so Kyle just playing a Swamp. He's considering I think he's passing the turn back to Brandon, and he is. So Kyle going to respond to the Stoneforge activation. Going to 13 here. I think we're going to see a Cunning Wish. Oh, man, I wonder if he has Vendilion Click.
That would be gross.
Kyle pretty aggressively fetching basics, although I don't know if there's much of a reason to do that against Brandon's deck. I would feel pretty safe in going after, in going after dual lands here. Yeah, so he's going to Cunning Wish in response to the Stoneforge activation. Let's see if Brandon has a response here. He could Force of Will, but it looks like he does have. Yeah, he is going to Force of Will. Force of Will exiling Snapcaster Mage. Doesn't want Kyle to gain any traction here.
Nice. Jamie's the best.
Yeah. So Batterskull coming down on the end step for Brandon. Going to get to untap and start getting his attack on. And this is sort of where the pressure gets a little turned up. Ooh, I think that's a copy of Rest in Peace in Brandon's hand, which is pretty outstanding.
David, I promise to talk about it between rounds here.
Attack for 5 from Brandon here, putting Kyle down to 8. Going to gain 4 life as well on the swing from the Batterskull. And there's Rest in Peace. Does Kyle have a response?
Yeah, that seems good.
I don't think he does.
This is one of the issues compared to like normal Reanimator. Like, since you're more all in on the infinite combo, it makes you even weaker to the hate cards, I think.
Yeah, the hate cards are extremely good against you. He does have an engineered explosives, though.
Okay.
Which at least beats the explosives, but he's still on a 2-turn.
The Rest in Peace.
The biggest issue is he's still on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
So we'll have to try and combo next turn with only Cunning Wish in his hand.
Yikes.
I don't know if that's even possible.
No. Like, you think about this deck compared to normal Reanimator, which is, doing a less broken thing.
Yeah.
But, because it's not infinite, but it needs fewer things to come together, and it also can play just show and tell as a way to get around, like, graveyard hate, like Rest in Peace.
Kyle might actually have the kill next turn.
Really?
I don't know if he has the payoff spell, but I also don't know if he could be the Swords to Plowshares.
So what does he have?
He has an Entomb and Dance of the Dead.
But he...
And explosives.
Oh. Yeah, but...
Oh, no, he's just going to... What am I talking about? Yeah, the fact that he did this turn means he's just going to die, right?
He needs... So he has the... Yeah, he doesn't have enough mana, right? Because he needs to pop explosives.
He could explosives for 0.
Yeah, to buy himself some time.
Or he could find another explosives. I would be pretty excited to Pyroblast this if I was Brandon. Oh, he's going to let it resolve.
That's another explosives.
Wow, really?
Yeah, right? I think it is. The middle card?
It's pretty insane.
Yep. As if to prove it to us. Reconsidering. Draws force? Or is that explosives? Okay.
I think Brandon drew another Force of Will.
That seems good.
Agreed.
Which land is tapped on? Neither land? Okay.
EE for 0, coming down. Let's see if Brandon has a response here.
Both of Brandon's lands are supposed to be untapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He played Rest in Peace 2 turns ago.
He also has... Is that Plow? Is that white card in his hand?
Yes, he does have Swords to Plowshares.
So he has...
Swords to Plowshares, Pyroblast.
He has the combo very covered.
That's what it feels like. I mean, the Pyroblast doesn't actually do much.
True.
I guess it might stop the payoff card.
Yeah.
But Kyle does have a Force Will on top of his deck.
Okay.
He actually has 2 Force Wills on top of his deck.
I guess the Plow also is contingent on using it at the correct time.
It is tricky. You have to respond to the right trigger.
Yeah. Well, is there actually any way to really screw it up? Cause...
Did Kyle play land this turn?
Yes.
Wait, I don't think he did.
Yeah, he played Island. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Cam!
Ah! He did not.
Oh, we did not.
He did
No,
not.
because last turn he went Cunning Wish
Yeah,
and he
he
had
had
a land up.
4.
Sorry about that, guys.
Boy.
We figured it out. All right, Kyle playing his 4th land. Had to go to video review there.
Yeah. Video review being our memories,
Yeah,
which
just-
are really bad.
They're not great. They could be better.
Our memory for 30 seconds ago.
Yep. Kyle could also play Explosives for 2 here, and I think that's what we're going to see. So he's going to activate Explosives for 0, killing the germ. And now he can play Explosives for 2?
Yeah. So playing it and popping it at the same time.
And then playing the second Explosives. Brandon says that's okay. Untaps. Finds another Swords. Oh no, yeah, Stoneforge Mystic. Right? No, it's just 2 swords.
I think so.
Yeah, 2 swords.
Get
Take
it-
one.
Get in there.
Taste it.
Kyle's at 2.
I think Kyle's just going to pass here. Kyle actually doesn't have anything to do.
Yeah. I mean, he needs a
Payoff.
thing to do with his infinite mana, assuming that he's able to actually have the combo go through.
And the issue even is that, like, he has to do it through all this disruption that Brandon has. Like, all the Sword Splashers are just really good here.
Uh-huh.
I think he just threw a 3rd copy. He can only cast 1, though.
Yeah.
He has to be
pretty
1
terribly
swords.
mana screwed.
All right, Stoneforge coming in. Kyle going to respond by cracking the Engineer Explosives. Everything is going to get exiled. Everything sees itself.
Including the Rest in Peace.
Recipe sees itself get exiled. Yeah, this takes care of the Rest in Peace, so Kyle can still Entomb.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see him end step Entomb. Well, he could want to draw this Force of Will.
Maybe. I don't know if he can even afford.
Ooh, is Brandon going to tap out?
So he's just going to entomb in response to whatever this is. Is this Snapcaster?
No. If he had
Oh,
Snapcaster,
this is
he would have
main phase,
killed him
okay.
2 turns
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
So this is Entomb.
Okay. So in response, Entomb, or maybe Brandon just didn't have another target in the deck.
I think he just. I don't know if this. I think he just has the Jitte in his hand.
Okay.
Hey, TX Ranger, how's it going?
What is up? We are going to be in Texas next week, or this weekend.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Texas.
Tomorrow we will be in Texas.
We will.
It's very late.
It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna be sleepy.
Yeah, you're kind of a big baby.
I am.
I'm gonna be asleep on the plane, so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Thoughtseize, pretty much the worst draw on the deck.
Pretty useless at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're just in the spot right now where Kyle has to draw like Mystical Teachings, but he's
There was a window that turn, although there is a Force of Will on Brandon's side.
blue card.
I don't actually know. We know
He does
there
now.
he
No,
does.
he did not.
Is that Time Walk?
That's a counter spell.
It looks like Time Walk.
Not even close. Time Walk.
I don't know, man.
I think this is gonna be it for Kyle here.
It looked kind of like Time Walk, I swear.
Kyle just has a bunch of garbage, basically.
Yeah. Well, he could flashback teachings if he had it.
Entomb. Can you get a Crippling Fatigue here? I think you pay life for Crippling Fatigue, though.
Uh-huh.
I think it's pay 3 life.
It is.
Man, how unlucky.
Yeah. Uncastable at the moment.
Oh, let's see. Oh, he's gonna get a Mystical Teaching, similarly uncastable.
See, the chat thought it was Time Walk too, right? That's what that means.
That is definitely not what that means. Yeah, clearly, vintage Super League strategy going
Yeah.
on here.
Entomb's mystical teachings. Just to show us it's there.
It's still in the deck, you guys. He hasn't cut it.
Yeah.
Kyle, at 1.
Not sure what else. Well,
Oh, that's why.
If this resolved, it actually would be the kill.
Man,
but I cannot imagine this resolves.
I mean, yeah, I think you just.
I think, yeah.
I think
if he
you
has it, he
force.
has
I think you force of will this and hold up Swords and
The
Plowshares.
problem here for Kyle, well, yeah, he didn't have enough black mana, right? That was the issue.
What do you mean?
Like, he couldn't. Oh, he can't Thoughtseize because he can't pay the life.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say
God.
he dies.
Oh, God.
It doesn't matter how Brandon counters this.
Mhm.
It's all lethal.
Yeah.
But it is worth mentioning, I think the correct play is to Force of Will, and that is what Brandon's doing. Like, so the reason you Force of Will instead of Counterspell is that you want to be able to do this and still hold up.
Pyroblast.
Well, or Sword
Or
Smashers.
Plow, sure. Yeah. Yeah,
that's
and
gonna be
Kyle sees the counterspell, and that's it. Game 3.
Kyle's deck didn't really do a ton that game, to be honest.
No.
Looks like Brandon just, drew some counterspells, drew one really powerful hate card. Kyle had to work pretty hard to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then just couldn't assemble quite enough things. Neither of us are going to SCG Philly, unfortunately. We are both going to Grand Prix Houston.
Phil bought plane tickets for both of us.
I did.
And then I paid Phil back like a good friend.
It took some time.
But
took
we're
some
staying
goading.
with my friend.
Yes, it's true.
For free, which is great.
You proved your worth to me.
I did.
As a traveling partner.
Right. And you'll probably fall in love with my friend Jamie.
It's true.
And the two of you will get married and have children. And it will all be my doing.
Wow, this has gone really off the rails here. And
Yeah.
I'm worried.
I'm sure you'll get divorced at some point, though, so then it'll be bad.
No, keep going. I want to learn more about my future, apparently. Anyways, players going back to their sideboards. We'll see if they can switch things up. Kyle's deck doesn't have a ton of powerful sideboard options in the sense that he's playing a wish board. So the actual cards he tends to board in are going to be a little more limited.
Yeah.
Most of them are just going to stay in the same place. The format for that, Kevin, is going to be standard for Houston.
And standard is pretty sweet at the moment.
Standard's great. Greg is not just saying that because he top 4'd his RPTQ. Also, once again,
I'm mostly saying because
congratulations to Greg. Chat. Congrats. Give Greg the congratulations he so desperately needs.
Thank you, Phil. I need affirmation.
Greg is going to be going to Madrid.
It's the first thing I've done correctly in my whole life.
In your whole life?
Yeah.
That can't be right.
It's not right at all.
Yeah.
But it's something I could say.
Oh, hey, David, you're going to Ohio? I think we'll both be there for that, right? That's
the legacy one.
The legacy one? Then yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Certainly.
First real life meeting between us and David Byer.
Down. I'm sure many people who watch the chat will be at that Grand Prix.
That's true.
Because we didn't get to go to Seattle, unfortunately.
We did not. I met some people in New Jersey, but the stream was not as experienced or weathered at that point.
Oh, awesome, David.
Nice.
That's exciting.
I will be playing Aether Vial.
Yeah, that's a certainty.
It's in Columbus, right?
I believe so.
Columbus is probably the best city I'm going to say Phil or I have been to in terms of food and mostly food.
It's just a
for
good
Magic.
It's a good Magic city.
Yeah.
It's a really good Magic city. It's my I think it's there's a lot of stuff there's plenty of things to do.
Yeah.
A lot of good bars, a lot of good food. And it's all pretty central.
Right. A big problem when you have these tournaments in large cities is, for example, Chicago. They wind up having to get a venue that's kind of out of the way. But for Columbus, it's a smaller city. The convention center is right downtown, right near all of the things you would want to do, before or after the tournament.
Yeah,
or
I think it's pretty
during.
great.
You can go to the market during the tournament because it's so close.
It's
you
awesome.
have enough time.
One thing that's we'll see how the format turns out to be affected after this weekend from SCG Philly, but I think that if Chalice of the Void is big, then the decks I like playing are going to suffer, and the deck you like playing is not going to suffer at all.
I think it gets better.
Lands seems very good.
Yeah, land seems excellent against Eldrazi.
I can't imagine Eldrazi's favored there.
Because, they would have to probably bend over backwards pretty hard with their sideboard to get that matchup in a better spot.
4 Sabos Decree. I saw that they had 4 Tormod's Crypt a lot of the time.
Is that better than Relic?
I think so.
Okay.
It costs 0.
Yeah, I guess you could also play Surgical to get
Sure.
Loam.
Yeah, that seems ambitious.
Okay.
Both players keeping their openers here. Kyle starting things off with the fetch down to 19. Well, not 17. Been playing too much Modern, apparently.
Yeah,
which is,
you goof.
Which is any Modern.
At the moment.
And Tomb coming down.
There have been times in the past where I enjoyed playing Modern.
Lots of times.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this is the worst Modern's ever been.
I-
Since the Wild West.
I think the Wild West was more entertaining.
Kind of.
Maybe because there was only one tournament of it.
Also, yeah, and you just didn't know what was going to happen. The Wild West, by the way, is when
It was the first Modern Pro Tour.
Pro Tour Philadelphia 2011.
Where there were, I think, 8 different decks in the top 8.
No.
No?
No.
2 Zoo?
Yes.
Okay.
No, 2 Storm.
Okay.
2 Pyromancer's Ascension decks.
Sure. I'm cool with that. I like
everything
that deck.
everything in that top 8 has a card banned from it, except Affinity.
Perfect.
Turn 2 Brainstorm from Kyle. Let's see if Brandon has any resistance to this. Pyroblast or anything? Nope, just going to let it resolve.
Ooh.
Kyle barely putting the cards in his hand. Looks like he's quickly putting some lands back.
Yeah, Kevin, I agree. Painter is probably pretty good against them because the card Painter Servant is just naturally good against them.
Yep. I mean, it's much better against them, it seems, in Modern because they have just so many other soul lands in Legacy. Yes, Twin did win that tournament. It beat Twin with Samuel Estrade, and he beat Josh Arter-Layton playing Counter Cat in the finals.
Counter Cat.
Yeah, it was just a Naya Zoo deck. That, by the way, the card banned from that deck was what, Greg?
Green Sun Zenith.
Yeah, you nailed it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Cloud Post was in that top 8. Blazing Shoal was in that top 8.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Black got extremely unlucky in that top 8.
Sam Black proved that was maybe the most clear first huge demonstration of his genius.
That deck?
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. All right. Thoughtseize here from Brandon. Really thinking if he wants to let this one resolve.
Good evening, Givus. Thank you for being nice to me tonight.
Looks like he's going to crack his Pluto Delta in response. This might elicit a Brainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Both players playing pretty quickly here.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of time.
They might even have less time than they had before.
Yeah.
Than we appear that they have.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to align our clock with the official round clock, as we are in a back room of MTG Cardmarket and very removed from the players so as not to be overheard.
We're in our own box.
Yeah.
Free from the world.
It is next to the back door, so it's nice and cold in the winter.
I love it.
Also next to the bathroom, so we get all those lovely smells.
I gotta say, I love every second of it.
Yeah.
Brainstorm going to be in response to this Thoughtseize from Brandon. David, I played in the SCG Open in Louisville this weekend, and I lost playing for day 2 in the last round. I liked my deck a lot, though.
Phil played Esper Control with a whole bunch of Supreme Verdicts.
It was good.
And Gideon.
Supreme Verdict was really good. Gideon was even better. But yeah,
I believe.
I did not quite make day 2, lost to Affinity.
To go 6-3 when you needed 7-2?
Correct.
So you basically lost playing for cash because 65 people made it.
Yep, I did. I did lose playing for cash, Greg. Thank you.
Just checking.
Yep, twist the knife.
Just reminding you of that one.
Thank you. Wouldn't be the first time. Force of Will coming down from Brandon here. Looks like he really doesn't want to get Thoughtseize. So this is a pretty aggressive play, especially since he exiled a Brainstorm from it. But this must speak to the strength or weakness of Brandon's hand.
Right.
Like, I feel like in general you're not going to be Force of Willing unless you are protecting like something really powerful, like I could see if he has a Rest in Peace.
Yeah, that's kind of what this feels like.
I did not do the Legacy Classic on day 2, David. I ended up just sleeping in and hanging out with friends that day. I didn't really go to play in the tournament. The tournament was secondary to me. I just wanted to go and hang out with people.
Yeah, you know a lot of people in the
Midwest.
Louisville/Indianapolis area, and
Yep.
a lot of people went to that tournament.
Yeah, it was really fun to hang out with them.
That's
so it
good.
was, in fact, protecting a Rest in Peace, which has come down here. Rest in Peace, as we said, huge against Kyle's deck.
Yikes.
Here's a Preordain. Brandon says that's okay. Kyle just going to be looking for Engineered Explosives. Neither of those are Engineered Explosives, so I have to figure they're going to the bottom. Force of Will's
likely.
I mean, Force of Will's fine.
Mm-hmm. It's a little late to the party.
This is also super brutal because it gets this is super brutal because it got one of the World Gorgers.
Yeah.
Which was already in Kyle's graveyard because he turned 1 entombed.
Yeah, so the Rest in Peace already is just...
It's got a card.
Yeah, it's already done its job as a...
Hoser.
It's a normal spell.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see what Kyle really thinking about this one. Ooh, he is going to keep the Force of Will. I think he's assuming that Brandon's hand must not be that strong. He must have kept it on the strength of this Rest in Peace.
It'd be kind of nice, I think, if from Kyle's spot, if he's able to maybe even use this Force aggressively, like...
On a Stoneforge Mystic?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Brandon doesn't actually have that many threats, because presumably he's also going down on threats post-board, because he has to bring in all of these anti-combo cards.
Yeah.
So if he could if Kyle can stop the first, Stoneforge or Click or whatever it happens to be, then he probably is going to buy himself a chunk of time.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Brandon fetching right now. getting a second copy of Tundra into play, shoring up his white mana, making sure that he can perhaps cast Swords to Plowshares multiple times in response to a World Gorger combo.
Gibbous, I would definitely recommend registering for GPDC soon. It would just, if you're planning on going to one of these big events, it would be really, really frustrating to not be able to play for that reason.
All right, so here's a True Name Nemesis. Let's see if Kyle forces this. He does. Force of Will, exiling Cunning Wish.
Not the best clock from Brandon's side, but
that one's got to be hard to force.
Yeah.
Oof. Thoughtseize here is pretty great, though.
Batterskull's a lot faster of a clock than True Name.
I was wrong. Thoughtseize is bad. Brandon has 3 lands.
Okay.
So that Force of Will looks really bad. Kyle does have a Mystical Teachings, which is only going to get 1 spell before it's exiled. Ooh, I think... Let's see what Brandon drew here. He drew a Ponder. Pretty excellent draw.
I take back everything I said, Gibbous. Did not realize you were doing the 3-day.
Yeah, I noticed that, CPT. It's pretty awesome. I haven't watched any older videos, but that gives a lot of context to to things that people are watching in the past.
That is sweet.
Ooh, what 3-drop we got here? Just a True Name. I mean, you got to be all right with this if you're Kyle.
Yeah. Of the creatures it could be, I would be a lot more scared of Click.
Or Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah.
All right, so preordained here, seeing Brainstorm and land. I think, Kyle's going to keep the Brainstorm. Let's see if he decides to fire it off now. It's pretty risky. He does want to hit a land for Teachings.
Dutch, I'm very sorry.
Ooh, okay. So 3 spells drawn here by Kyle. We see the Dance of the Dead, Mystical Teachings, Cunning Wish,
Still needs
Ponder.
a way... Well, maybe he has a way with Cunning Wish to get rid of the Rest in Peace?
Maybe an erase, anything.
Yeah, something, right?
Any way to
now
kill an
Ponder.
enchantment.
Yeah.
Ponder here, we just see kind of a bunch of garbage. I think Kyle's got to be excited to shuffle this away, and he does.
Geoffnish, good evening.
Hello, hello.
A lot of the old standbys showing up today.
Yeah, watching some Legacy.
Yeah.
I wish we had more Eldrazi to show you guys.
Well, from all the articles I've been reading this week, I'm anticipating that a good amount of people are going to play the deck at the SCG Open this weekend, and you should be able to get a healthy dose of it there.
Yep. All right. Brandon untapping here. He's on all lands right now. Ooh. Just drew Batterskull. That is a great draw.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just best possible.
I don't know. I mean, is it really?
I think so.
What about second Rest in Peace? Would that be better?
Second Rest in Peace is probably better.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
But yeah, this speeds up the clock by a turn.
What? 2 turns. At least
It was 4 turns.
It was a 5-turn clock, and now it's a 3-turn clock.
Down to 12.
From 15.
Well, I'm counting after this, right?
Okay, so
it's
4 to 2.
Okay,
Either
all
way.
right. 2 turns.
Calm down here, buddy. All right, Kyle, tapping 2 mana. Ooh, he drew the Explosives.
That's pretty good.
But is he going to have enough time?
Putting it on 2. He has Cunning Wish
Mystical
and
Teachings.
Mystical Teachings in hand.
Ah, yes, the very powerful Mystical Teachings.
Very powerful. Unfortunately, I mean, he's still... The problem is he's missing the Reanimate effect, right? Also needs to get a World Gorger in the graveyard.
Yeah, he needs a lot of things going here.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the Batterskull move over here?
What does that do?
Protects from an Explosives for 0.
Okay, but we already know the Explosive's on 2. Another Explosive?
Yeah, I guess so. All right. 8-point life swing going here. Kyle going to go down to 3.
I mean, I guess he gains more life, but...
I mean, this is actually technically worse against another Explosives, right?
Yeah, because you set it to 3.
To 3 and kill the True Name.
Potentially.
All right, Explosives going to get popped on this end step. I wonder if Kyle draws a land, he'll be able to live. What if he has just a Diabolic Edict in his sideboard?
That would be diabolical.
That would be so great. All right, Explosives getting cracked, taking care of the Rest in Peace. Kyle untaps. See if he has an out to this True Name Nemesis. Or an out, period. Just checking to make sure where these cards end up after the explosives gets cracked.
He thinks Kyle is dead.
Problem is, Kyle can't draw a land and a...
That was a land.
So if he has Diabolic Edict, this is great.
Yeah.
But he needs actual Diabolic Edict.
I think that is the out.
Do you think it's in a sideboard?
I would bet money it is not.
You bet money?
I would. Well, I wouldn't bet money because that's illegal, right?
It's in the graveyard? Are you sure? Doesn't it see itself get destroyed? I thought it sees itself get destroyed. It's like the same as so. Like if you abrupt decay a Rest in Peace, it's exiled.
The abrupt decay is or the rest in peace?
Not the abrupt decay.
Okay.
Uh,
Is it different because one is a spell and the other is an ability?
no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I do not know.
RIP. It's supposed to be in the graveyard. Gibbs, right? Okay. I mean, Gibbs has played Dredge, so I assume that anyone who plays Dredge knows every Rest in Peace interaction possible. Why is that true? I mean, I'm not going to Google it. I would like someone to tell me. It'd be much easier that way. I think Kyle's just trying to figure out if he has any options out of this, see if there's any combinations of things he could tutor for. Ah, yes, Mystical Teachings, how I missed you.
This is the give up mystical teachings, I think.
I mean, there's no 1 mana each player bounce. Envelop it's not Envelop. Curfew is a sorcery, and that's a concession there from Kyle.
Yeah, just a little.
Oh, Cyclonic Rift!
Yikes!
But it puts him dead on board.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
Crazy.
Unfortunate. No, Houston's not modern. Houston's standard.
Mm-hmm. Houston is indeed standard.
We are hopefully playing. We are going to Detroit though.
Yes, I will be playing the same main deck from the RPTQ in standard, which went pretty well.
Greg is going to the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Greg's
somehow.
going to Madrid.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
I know how. You got very lucky.
I got very lucky.
But yeah, it's great. He's going to Madrid. Look at him. He's so excited.
That's why we're going for Houston, is to get Phil a plane ticket there as well.
Yeah, my goal is to top 8 this Grand Prix. Well, that's not true. My goal is to win the Grand Prix.
Right.
But I would settle for 13 and 2.
Set your sights more reasonably.
More reasonably?
Yeah.
So 14-1.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we're both flying down to Houston tomorrow, and playing. No, I didn't shave my. This is how I always look. And we're gonna be playing some Rally the Ancestors.
I noted. So Cubs fan is
Will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you, Will, because I got qualified for this RPTQ by beating Will, Cubs fan 134, in the finals.
In the finals
of the PPTQ that qualified me.
Of course.
So at least I made it count, right?
That's true. You did make it count. But yeah, deck's great. Rally's great.
Yeah. I went 6-0.
Yep. Greg is one of 2 people I know actually to have qualified via Rally at the RPTQ. I knew it, by the way. Recipe says exile itself. But yeah, the other one being Ben Feingersh, who has shown up in the chat variously as Feingersh.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yes, but he also qualified, winning, getting top 4 in Massachusetts.
Nice. That's probably a harder one than I went to.
Well, he had to beat a GP champion in his win and in.
Okay.
So probably.
Who's that?
Matt Costa.
Ooh, yeah.
You had to beat Joe.
Yeah, I didn't have to. I could have lost to Joe and probably still made it in.
You had to beat Joe.
I beat Joe
because it's a good story.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
I also beat the same band Coco player twice. He was such a nice guy.
Man, he did not have a good day.
I mean, he had a good day in that he made top 8.
That's not a good day.
I was his only losses.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a good day unless you're winning personally.
Yeah.
And so it was a good day for you.
Yeah, it was very important that I was the higher seed. I will say that.
Going first is good.
Very good.
Win that die roll. But yeah, we're both playing Rally of the Ancestors this weekend.
Yep.
I assume it's going to be great.
Yeah, we have some spicy tech for this weekend.
It's very spicy. It's mostly courtesy of Ben. But Yeah, I think I'm excited. I haven't gotten to play Standard. I played one PPTQ. I played this deck from my completely cold and lost in top 4.
Yes.
And
You played like a donk. That's fine.
Okay. Someone could have warned me that there were blue cards in his deck, and no one did. For
I
the
didn't play
record,
against him.
I played Rally, and I went all in on a Rally, and no one warned me that my opponent had Stubborn Denial in his deck.
His main deck.
So I
So
lost.
Phil lost immediately.
Yep, instantly.
Yep.
Wasn't even close. Probably could have won that game.
Yeah, I don't think you had to shove like you did.
Yeah,
but
obvious.
The Storm player likes to gamble and try to win the game with his grindy creature deck.
Greg is exaggerating a little bit. It's not really how it happened.
It's like that play made me think that when you play Storm, you just really like to cast Ad Nauseam.
Yeah, that's me, the guy who loves to cast Ad Nauseam. I've never railed against Ad Nauseam in my life. Anyways, yeah.
Phil's having a great time right now.
I am having an excellent time. Round 2? Did Matt Seckel win? Who's he playing? Isn't that covering?
No clue. Still standing.
Let's just watch him.
Might be Kyle Norman.
Kyle
No,
lost.
Kyle Norman lost.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, still standing.
Oh, you can't find LEDs, David? That's a problem.
You should just watch Sekal.
I want to watch Seckel play.
Unless he's playing against Brandon. Oh, even he's
I
playing
think
against
that-
Brandon. Yeah.
But yeah. Yep. But I want to see some. I want to see some wonderful exploration.
I do too.
That's the deck. If I was going to Philadelphia this weekend,
You would play lands if you had access.
it would be hard for me to ever say no to Storm
Uh-huh.
in like any tournament.
Right.
But a lot of main deck Thorn and Amethyst is having me worried.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And main decks like if everyone's gonna play, like, it's Legacy, so people are gonna be there's a lot of natural restriction that's going on there. But if the top tables involve, if the deck is as good as we think it is,
Right.
and we think it's quite good, then seeing a lot of main deck Chalice of the Void and a lot of main deck Thorn of Amethyst is
No bueno.
pretty nightmarish.
Yeah.
So Storm feels like it's gonna be pushed a little bit
In a
here.
bad spot. Yeah.
Yeah. You're still great. Deck's still great. Like, the problem is, like, if you don't win the die roll and your opponent goes first and just plays either Thorn or Chalice on one before you get to or you don't duress them,
Yeah. That's a lot to deal with.
it's a lot. Thorn is beatable.
Chalice.
Chalice! Actually, they're both beatable, but I think Thorn is slightly more beatable. But the problem is that Eldrazi deck just has such a clock.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. That's what makes the deck so good, is that it's both disruptive
And fast.
and extremely fast.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're gonna pop down.
Tyler Kidwell is Sekel's opponent.
Okay.
Can you
He's playing Affinity.
Ooh.
He's a new player. I just had to make a DCI card for him. So
Nice.
he borrowed a deck.
What is his name? Tyler
Kidwell.
He's 1-0.
Kidwell, like this?
Yep.
And he's 1-0 with Affinity?
Nice.
Yep, he beat some Delver deck.
I really hope that there is Tezzeret.
It's like a Tezzeret.
Yes.
Oh,
I saw
boy.
Tezzeret on the field, so.
Oh my god, that card is so good.
Tezzeret Agent of Bolus. So we're gonna see land. He's still playing lands, right?
Yep.
Great.
I saw him turn 2
Oh, fantastic.
Man, this matchup might be bad for lands.
There are no bad matchups for lands.
Okay,
Lands
yeah.
is unbeatable.
All right. I actually played lands for the first time at the RPTQ. Bob and I were killing time before round 1.
Who has lands?
Bob owns lands now.
Oh, did you buy a Tabernacle or
Yeah.
something like that? Usually that's the limiting factor.
That is the
there.
last thing that people get.
Yep.
They think that they can get by without it for a while, and then they think about all of the games that they could have won if they were able to rotate for it.
If their opponent didn't have Tabernacle in their deck,
Yeah.
it's very different. But yeah, Sekal going to be playing lands here. Man, Gamble is so good. No gamble, no future.
So yeah, I think. So it kind of seems to me like Tezzeret will be Tyler's best card if he can cast it.
Yeah,
right?
by a lot.
Like lands just doesn't really have much way to interact with that, assuming that Tyler is able to cast it.
Just Punching Fire.
Yeah, like that's why just suiting up a creature with plating is a lot easier to deal with, I think, from the land side.
I mean, you could Punishing Fire that.
You could Punishing Fire. You could maze.
Yep, maze
the
is straight.
creature.
Yep, a lot of stuff you could do. Yeah, I think Gibbous, the Infernal Tutor being not too pricey is pretty good. What's a good sideboard for Ant right now? Something with Hurkyl's Recall. That's what I'll say. You better have Hurkyl's Recall on your sideboard.
That makes sense.
Some number of Empty the Warrens is probably wise. Several Abrupt Decays. Maybe a Flusterstorm. Mess around with it. Like the only cards I would never leave home without are Abrupt Decay, some sort of Death and some sort of Thalia hate card, an alternate win con like Empty the Warrens, and something that bounces artifacts. Yeah, rebuild. Hurkyl's might end up being better right now just because of all the thorns. Being 1 mana cheaper might be more important.
I think you can probably cut the Dread of Nights though.
Don't know about that. Dread of Nights is pretty good. All right, looks like Tyler's starting things off with a Seat of the Synod into a Springleaf Drum. Sekal playing Mox Diamond, discarding Wasteland. Ooh, he has Exploration as well.
Is
that an Intuition? It is an Intuition. What's your question?
What just happened here? Why? Who went first?
Tyler went first. It's still Matt's turn.
Why does Tyler have 8 cards?
I am unsure.
He has 6 in hand and 2 in play. Right?
That's what it looks like. Huh.
Am I wrong that Tyler went first?
I don't know. Massacre is fine. Massacre is a completely reasonable card. Did he draw an extra card?
It's kind of what it looked like.
7, 8, 9. All right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'll tell the judge.
Yeah. Alright, we see Tyler kind of exploding on the board here. A little confused about what happened there, because I think Tyler went first and was not supposed to draw for his turn. Alright, looks like Phil is asking to double check the game state here. Because right now, so Tyler just took his second turn. 3... So yeah, he should only have 8 cards because he draws for his second turn. Right?
Yeah. So does he get a Thoughtseize?
Got him.
Is that what happened? Did he Thoughtseize him?
I don't know.
Well, he gets to look, right? That's the ruling?
I have no idea what the rule is.
Isn't that how it works? I'm not a judge. I'm not going to say I know exactly what happens here, because I know Tyler went turn 1, Seat of the Synod, Springleaf Drum.
Yeah.
And somehow an extra card ended up there.
Yeah. I think.
Sekal said that they screwed up because he drew out his first turn. Like he just did.
Yeah.
Tyler's.
That's what it looked like.
This is Tyler's first Legacy tournament.
Okay.
So there's something going on here. Yeah, give us all those cards are great in the sideboard. I think I'm playing Dread of Night over Disfigure, and I think they're all pretty similar, what they do.
So yeah, this is.
Oh, those are all the cards. Those are all the cards you played this turn.
Yeah, we're trying to fix the game state after. We're seeing the game after Tyler's second turn, but one more card than there should be.
I'd like if a judge could chime in and let me know what's going on here. My assumption is that Matt gets to Thoughtseize Tyler
at the beginning of Tyler's turn.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like the easiest way to fix this.
Oh, they're just gonna.
Just pick a random. Okay.
They're just gonna go at random. I thought he gets to Thoughtseize him.
I don't know. It also seems kind of reasonable just to do random.
Yeah. Xanath Swarm's great. I think Carpet of Flowers is not good right now, Gibbous.
All right, so a random card goes. I think that was on the bottom of the deck. Gibbous would not rewind that much. I wonder if you're able to rewind a little bit more, just because this is
as far back as you can go. You know everything that happened this turn.
So yeah, the land is untapped.
Yeah,
so
he should get to Thoughtseize him, I thought.
Tyler's just gonna play the full.
Doesn't he get to Thoughtseize him?
Huh?
Doesn't he get to Thoughtseize him?
He's gonna rewind his hand. It's not competitive play son. But we're gonna rewind his hand. We're
Yeah.
gonna basically rewind the turn, and we're gonna take away the extra card that he drew.
Okay.
Yeah, just
We just put
because
it on the
it's
bottom. That's the best way to fix it. We already yeah.
Low REL, like this seems fine.
Yeah, this is It's his first tournament. Like I don't think he's deliberately cheating. Or anything
Yeah.
like that.
No, Seckle said it was. It sounded like Seckle said it was his fault actually.
Yes, he actually. When I sat down, he's like, his opponent was like, "Hey, I didn't draw for my turn," and he didn't realize anything. He's just like, "Oh yeah, okay." He can draw.
He just like said
and
yes.
He just yes, and he just actually just said yes, and he proceeded to draw.
Okay. For those wondering, this is Steve, who is our judge here and who made said ruling. So if you want to be mad at someone, be mad at him.
I'll take all the blame for this.
That's what judges are for, taking blame.
We're in the position.
All right, so exact same game state, except Tyler's at one less card.
Yeah.
Looks like the random card taken was none of the ones that he played this turn.
None of the ones that actually played this turn. It seemed
Yep.
like
Okay.
it was the Glimmer Void, but
Yeah,
I shuffled it randomly and just
Yep.
picked one randomly. So
That's cool.
That's just the best way to fix it.
Yeah.
Right now.
We'll
It's a pretty solid draw from Tyler. He's going to have a turn 3 Tezzeret.
And a pretty bad draw from Matt. Doesn't really have much going on here. Like he has all right, there's a Karakas, which does nothing, just a plains basically.
Taps for white.
Ooh, I think this is Intuition.
Ooh. He's playing blue cards this time.
Yep, here's Intuition. Now Seckle deciding what he wants to get here. He could just get the combo. Just loam, stage, and depths.
Might be too slow.
Might just die to Tezzeret.
Yeah, just Tezzeret ult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tezzeret ults in one turn.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Tezzeret ult plus Ravager going in with Disciple of Ult. That's a lot of damage.
Yep. Ooh, is he gonna get? Looks like he's going for the Punishing Grove combo.
Interesting. Affinity's sweet. I played it in, I think, 1 or 2 local legacy tournaments a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fun. I mean, there are some limits on some of your matchups. You can get ground out by the heavy removal decks.
Oh yeah, I mean like you're not a deck with a lot of built-in card advantage, and like without
Yeah.
Ravager, your dudes just die.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Skull Clamp were legal.
Okay, so Seckle revealing 3 cards: Grove, Punishing Fire, and Maze of Ith. So I have to think that Maze of Ith is going to be put in his hand here.
Yeah, that seems probably like the... Yeah, I'm just... Well, you kind of want your Ravager to be able to swing in, but
Does it matter that much?
Maybe
I think
not.
Tezzeret Ultimate's going to be almost lethal.
by itself
1,
almost,
2,
yeah.
3, 4, 5 times 2 is 10,
Mhm.
plus any artifacts he draws.
Yeah, any artifacts he finds. I don't actually mind giving him the Grove. It's kind of slow, and Maze would be able to be played immediately to
Yeah.
save damage.
I just don't like the thing that can actually pressure your Tezzeret.
Sure.
Although like that is like several turns in a row.
Yeah. I wonder here if Tyler is going to grow his Ravager at all, or if he's just simply going to play Tezzeret. Well, he could make a 5/5, but probably just tick up.
I don't like doing anything with Ravager because I think you want Ultimate Tezzeret.
Okay.
And I think you want almost all your artifacts in play, if that's the case.
Yeah.
All right.
You're kind of doubling up, right? Well, tripling up, because next turn if you ult, you get the drain value from Tezzeret, then you can sack a bunch of things to Ravager, which also triggers Disciple of Ult,
And you can
makes
attack-
your Ravager big to attack.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if this is lethal next turn.
Yeah.
All right. Tezzeret.
Pretty easy turn 4. I mean, this is what happens when all of your lands are artifacts.
Yeah. Artifact lands are great.
They're a hell of a thing.
Don't miss these in
Modern.
modern. Although
Makes your Vandal Blast better.
yeah, it's true. I was gonna say I honestly don't think they would be that insane. I think they'd be really good.
Yeah, it makes the deck both more vulnerable and more explosive.
Way more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like
Stony Silence.
yeah, like or you just like they don't have man lands anymore.
Yeah.
Like they won't have room for like Blink Moth and Ink Moth and stuff like that.
Ooh, I think you found plating. I don't even know if that's the take. He also has a Ravager in there.
Oh, there's another Ravager, a Signal Pest.
Like, there are a lot of good takes.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, plating. Plating's always a good one.
hard to go wrong with Cranial
The
Plating.
rest go on the bottom.
There's also an Ornithopter there. Yeah, he had just 5 choices, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Not bad.
yep.
This seems extremely lethal next turn.
I agree.
And a second Tezzeret. Good lord.
Yeah, that one's not going to be necessary, I think.
Nope.
I think it's just cranioplating one of my guys and hit you for a ton.
Oh, yeah. See if we're going to get these 2 creatures in here.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
wrong.
think he's sacking at least one. I think that's...
I don't want to sack anything.
Yeah.
You've plating and Tezzeret.
I think sacking one is not the worst. But
That's 3 points of damage you miss out on. By sacking anything. It's 2 points.
you get 1 extra... Well, 2 extra from Ravager being...
You only
well,
get one extra.
Because it's only 1 attack right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the one this turn is going to be good enough. Tyler
Yeah.
going to gain 1 life here from the Grove on end step as Matt gets it back. Not lose. Doesn't pain your opponent. That'd be pretty great. All right, let's see if Matt can crawl his way out of this one. This is...
Disciple.
Yeah, Disciple.
That pains.
Disciple looks good.
Disciple's sweet.
All right, Matt going to fetch here. Going down to 17.
I think Disciple is the predecessor to my love for Blood Artist and Zulaport Cutthroat. Even though it's not the exact equivalent because it's not a drain, it's only a life loss, no life gain, but just the dinky value creature that just loves things dying.
Yep.
It's a sweet card.
I think we're going to see Tezzeret double punching fired here. Ooh, Loam. Get back Wasteland, Mazavith, and Windswept Heath.
Yikes.
I mean, this makes it seem like Matt has a pretty good long game here. He could double Wasteland, but that doesn't really do anything.
Feeds Ravager.
He's going to play an Exploration.
Good grief.
There's a Windswept Heath.
3 lands can be played this turn.
There's a Mazavith. Okay, so he's...
So do you Punishing Fire the Disciple the Vault right now? Or do you...
Or the Tezzeret.
To stop it from ulting?
Let's pull up Tezzeret.
If that happens, if I were Tyler, I would be kind of interested in just making a 5. Well, if you make a 5/5, then you give them Matt a very good Mazavith target.
Yes.
Which is kind of awkward.
This is a tough spot.
It is.
A lot of decisions Matt can make
They
here.
really are. Making lands look pretty interesting.
Told you, man. Lands is sweet.
It is sweet.
Just the weirdest control deck in the format.
Ooh, Blood Artist and Falcon Wrath Noble.
That's a combo right there.
Well, that sounds delightful.
We have in the room, we have Lands, Affinity, Jeskai Stoneblade, World Gorger Dragon, Burn, Infect, Storm? Nathan on Storm?
I assume.
I think that's... I'm not sure what else. That might be...
Yeah, we might have 1 or 2 other people that we're missing.
Yeah. Okay, so Punching Fire is going to go after Disciple of the Vault and take it down.
Master Disaster. Good evening. Great name.
Tyler going to untap here. He's got a Plating, but Plating doesn't really do anything in this spot. He has a second Ravager in his hand.
Yeah, if there were multiple attackers plus access to double black, then plating, equipping at instant speed could be... Well, it could be effective against Mazavith, but in this spot, it's not doing a ton.
All right, getting equipped to Ravager. I think this is going to be Tyler's introduction to Mazavith right here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 artifacts in play right now?
Yeah, so Ravager's 8 power currently.
7.
There's 2 counters.
Where to get a second counter? Oh, did he sack the drum?
Yeah, he sacked the drum last turn.
Oh, then I missed a drain. It was when I had the life totals up. Don't you tisk me. Get out of here. All right.
I really love giving Phil grief.
Good.
I
Good.
really like it.
So I enjoy receiving it. Let's see what he decides to do with this.
Going up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if,
I like going up here.
there's another Plating, a Signal Past, an Etch Champion.
I think Etch Champion seems like a good take, right?
At least it doesn't die to Punching Fire, but it's still not great. Still not good against Mazavith.
Yeah, it still gets hit by Maze.
Might see a bunch of Wastelands come down next turn, honestly.
Yeah, maybe it actually was not. Maybe it would have actually been okay if for Tyler just to make a 5/5 this turn, just to try to overload the Mazavith.
That's what I was thinking as well. The one thing that's like really getting him here is that So what? 2 things. One, I think he should. If you're gonna plus Tezzeret, you should definitely do it before you play any spells.
Right.
See what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
decide
see
from there.
Full optionality.
Alright, so right now Matt is Mazavithing this Arcbound Ravager, meaning it will untap and be removed from combat. Although they're not untapping it. These fools! They're not fools. That's rude.
Phil is rude.
Yes, I'm sorry. Alright, let's see if Matt's going to dredge Loam here. He is. Get 3 looks. We see a Wooded Foothills, a Rishadan Port, and a Forest. Alright, so things are starting to come down poorly for Tyler here. There's the walls are starting to close in as this Loam gets good.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so there's a Wasteland going after Seat of the Synod. There's another Wasteland. Go after Seat of the Synod.
Yeah, Waste is pretty good.
1 mana. Life from the Loam, getting back Wasteland Port.
We missed some sacks to the Ravager there, right?
I think so.
Eesh.
We get back Forest, Wasteland Port. Matt has played 1 of his lands this turn. He has 2 more land drops. There's Port and a Forest.
Double Exploration plus Loam is disgusting.
Yeah, this is you're just playing a different game than your opponent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his lands are spells. His spells don't cost mana, they cost land drops. And he gets 3 land drops a turn.
And he draws 3 cards a turn.
Yeah.
This seems extremely hard
It's
to beat.
gross. I mean, Tyler's just not going to be able to cast any spells soon.
Nope.
Like, as in next turn.
Yeah, this is very poor. And this Ravager's just locked out for the rest of the game. Matt didn't even port this turn, interestingly enough.
Mm-hmm. I think...
Tezzeret's going up again. This seems ambitious. I don't know how you beat this lock. Just never have mana for the rest of the game.
Right.
Yeah, he sees a Vault of the Whispers, which is just going to die to Wasteland. I think you just take a creature, but they're just going to die to Punishing Fire. There's just there's nothing good here.
Too much of a squeeze now.
I don't know how Tyler can get out of this at this point.
Yeah, as long as Matt's able to keep the Tezzeret from ulting, multiple times or something.
Yeah. I mean, so Tyler, I think, missed a couple sacrifices to his Ravager. This is Tyler's first time playing Legacy. He has never played this deck before.
I think he borrowed the deck.
He did. He borrowed it, so, not as familiar with all the interactions going on here.
Yeah.
Either way, I think Matt is just presenting too much.
Yeah, Matt's draw definitely came together once he was able to play the Explorations.
Yep.
As usual, I think that's the scariest card out of lands.
Yeah, Exploration is just so absurd. In conjunction with Loam, it's just
Right.
a million cards a turn. Tyler playing his Vault Scourge that he found off of the Tezzeret. And Ravager coming in, and this is once again just going to get Mazavith.
Yeah.
Can't see Matt doing anything else here.
I think Matt is just playing with his food at this point.
That's what it looks like.
This is kind of a lot of, I think, what happens when you're playing lands is you get into garbage time.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here.
Tyler will have a good chunk of, or he has a good chance of being able to chump block some Merit Lage for a while.
Mm-hmm. So Punishing Fire going after Arcbound Ravager. It is right now has 2 counters on it. Let's see if he sacks anything in response.
Yeah, I think Sekal checking to make sure. Yeah, so all right,
So
Tyler
what
lets that happen. Puts the counters onto Vault Scourge.
Actually, the way this works is that the modular is going to go on the stack with that in the graveyard, so he can respond.
Wow.
He's with the modular on the stack. Eesh.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Affinity is not an easy deck to play.
I think Matt is also certainly taking advantage of the fact that his opponent has less experience with his deck than Matt has with his.
Yeah, I mean, Matt's been playing lands for years at this point.
Yeah, well, there's a main deck Ensnaring Bridge.
That seems like he was metagaming against Eldrazi.
That is exactly what that seems like. I wonder if he has a way to kill it. I saw a explosives as he was paging through his deck. All right, so we got a Loam coming back here, picking up a Wasteland, a couple other things, including a stage. Matt has a million land drops. There's stage. There's Foothills. There's Wasteland. Yeesh. This is the hard lock. He could also just start going after this Tezzeret if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
He's got plenty of options. Maybe he'll copy Grove with this with this stage. I think that would be the most likely candidate. Yeah, Tyler just drawing Glimmer Void, which is just going to get hit by a Wasteland.
Ooh, TX Rager telling us that Bridge in the main has often been for sneak attacks, show and tell kind of decks.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for our local meta, like,
I don't know.
I anticipate that Matt is building his deck kind of for playing here,
Maybe.
and not really. I don't think we've seen anyone play show and tell for a while.
Yeah, that's mostly true. I like the term that a friend used the other day was roommate metagaming.
Yeah,
Which I think is like a really funny and accurate term
Uh-huh.
for like people for like metagaming against the people that are going to show up to the tournament.
oh yeah,
Something I like. I advocate pretty hard against unless it's Greg. In which
Right.
case, I would build a literal anti-Greg deck.
yep.
But in general, I don't know. I don't find much value in doing that.
I've told you the worst example of this, right?
No. Was it Kyle Norman?
Oh yeah, it was back
Yes.
when we were playing at another card shop in Chicago.
For Dread Knight?
Kyle played. He was playing Storm, and he put 4 copies of Dread of Night in his sideboard. In game 3, he turn 1 Dark Ritualed 2 Dread of Nights, and I won this game. I won this game because of Salt. If anyone told you that Salt never did anything for you, Salt won me this game because I was very miserable, shockingly, after this happened. I was sitting there pissed off as Kyle did his thing, and he miscounted his Storm, failed to go off when he tried to go off, and Sarah Avenger, equipped with Sword of Fire and Ice, won.
If that's not justice, I don't know what is.
It's something.
Justice is what it is. Seklo going to be dredging back Loam, getting back 3 more lands. First land is a Wasteland, second land's a Port, third land is a second stage. Wasteland takes out Glimmer Void.
Yikes.
Matt passing. We're going to see a Port.
on the Darksteel Citadel.
Yep. Port your Darksteel Citadel and your upkeep. And this, unless Tyler draws Wasteland, this is pretty much locked up here. There's a Vault of the Whispers. This set champion is just going to get beaten straight up by this
Maze.
Mazavith.
Yeah, Mazavith not having a color is a problem for Etch Champion.
Poor S champion. Is S champion more common than Master of Ethereum?
In Legacy,
No idea.
I think maybe it functions kind of like Modern, where it's like a metagame call. I mean, Affinity is like a pretty fringe deck in Legacy overall, so
I'd agree.
I personally have not seen many agreed upon lists.
All right, so Mazavith targets Etch champion.
The fact that Champion doesn't get plowed, or Master of the Ethereum probably doesn't get bolted, which is nice. It does get decayed though.
Yep. All right. We see end step. Matt is going to make a copy of Mazavith with Thespian Stage. Wasteland Tyler. Send the Punishing Fire at Arcbound Ravager, and we're just gonna. Now it's just the waiting game. See when we can hit the Dark Depths.
We are in garbage time.
Oof. Oh yeah, this is very much garbage time.
Phil's favorite time of day.
It's true. It's what I live for.
Phil lives in garbage.
Yes, I'm glad you know me so well. Double Mazavith. Yeah, this is all but locked up for Matt at this point. Loam coming down, getting back some Wastelands and a Ghost Quarter even.
Why not? Can't be many basics in Tyler's deck.
Just plays all 3 of them. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Go port you in your upkeep.
And Tyler electing to not concede.
Yeah, it was a Ghost Quarter that was in his. It was in his graveyard.
Yeah, it's the Innistrad art of Ghost Quarter.
Mm-hmm. Tyler drew the very powerful Ornithopter.
Hey, correct art.
That's true.
I will also accept original Mirrodin art.
I'm glad. I'm glad that we have the gatekeeper of art here.
Yes. Otherwise, it would be unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. All right. Let's see if Matt can find a way to win this game. instead of putting us all through true agonizing demise. Specifically, Tyler and the rest of us.
Yeah, I guess Sekl just has not found a Dark Depths.
Nope. A Dark Depths. I mean, he's just been dredging loam. He's got 3 looks a turn. He'll find it eventually.
Yes.
Any Tranquil Thicket speeds things up. Yeah, man. This feels, I gotta say...
pretty infinite.
Yes.
Infinite as in it's going to take infinite time to finish this game.
Chad, I would recommend congratulating Feingersh in the chat. He also top 4'd his RPTQ this weekend.
With a great deck.
The pretty great deck. It is a very, very strong deck. But yeah, I would congratulate him. Let him know that his accomplishments are not lost upon us. Let's see if Tyler can put anything together here. It's just going to get mazed. Matt has an arbitrary number of mazes at this point, which is 2.
Yeah. I'd also say an arbitrary amount of sanity left.
We've got 3 mazes now. Mazes for dazes. I'll stop now. Loam getting dredged.
Why would you stop, Phil?
Wasteland, Gamble, and Engineered Explosives. Bunch of stuff that doesn't matter too much. I think we're almost in the Punishing Fire U phase of the game.
I hope we never enter that phase.
Oh, it's such a fun part of the game.
It is not. It is miserable.
Loam.
Matt speeding up his play a little bit here.
Gets back Wasteland.
We only have a little over 20 minutes left in the round.
I think Tyler is just like not. It's not clear how Matt is even killing him at this point.
Yeah.
Tyler again. This is Tyler's first Legacy tournament.
Yeah, he is learning.
The true delight of playing against a deck that could only exist in this format.
Right. We heard that last round Tyler played against Delver. That one's a lot
more conventional.
A lot more familiar
Yes.
if you're coming to Legacy from less eternal formats.
Yeah, like like if you're just coming from Modern itself, like
Yeah.
really not that different.
Even standard. I
Yeah.
mean, creatures,
Counter
card
spells.
draw, counter spells, removal. Like, this is all, like, reasonable.
Yeah, the only difference is the card draw all costs 1 and is all better.
Yeah, it's all way better. But that's fine.
Yep.
It's supposed to be better. It's Legacy, right? As opposed to lands, the name of the deck alone tells you something funky is going on here.
Absolutely. So it looks like Matt is going to Punishing Fire down the Ornithopter in response to Disciple of the Vault after letting that preventing a potential drain.
Oh, yeah.
Mazavith stopping Etch Champion from doing anything.
Maze that.
And a second
P-Fire that.
Punishing Fire coming down here. Does he have... He doesn't actually even have any red mana right now to get back the Punishing Fire outside of the single grove, so he can't even bring them back to his hand.
To make it take even longer.
No, it wouldn't take it longer. All right, Loam getting dredged. Hey, we did it.
There's the win con.
Dark Depths, we've missed you.
Lands is great.
Loam getting cast. Gets back Dark Depths. Plays Dark Depths. He actually has no other targets because he has every land that he has
played
found.
them all.
They're here.
I don't know if they're...
Ice counters
Many
in place. Good old Dark Depths.
Yeah.
It's
How
great.
often
Look,
is that said?
not very often. I won't say it's a common sentiment people have. Matt gonna pass it back to Tyler. Is he going to port? He's not even gonna port. Tyler just drawing a Memnite for the turn. His hand is just Memnite and Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus.
Cool.
Definitely surprised to not see Matt. Oh, he is gonna port. I think this is in draw step.
Yeah.
Sure. Memnite coming down. Tyler not exactly. Matt not exactly worried about that one.
Memnite, your turn.
He's gonna attack. Make him use that maze.
Gotta use it.
Get him real good.
Where's that Dark Depths at?
Can't attack with the Memnite.
Maze that.
Maze that. And let's copy a Dark Depths here.
Let's make a game ender.
All right, so now Matt is going to explain how he gets an indestructible 2020. So he goes, copy Dark Depths. Legend rule, decide to keep the one that has decide to keep the Thespian staged version of it. That one has no ice counters on it, so you get a 2020. Boosh.
That is a Merit Lage.
It's an actual token too. That's the actual Merit Lage token.
I had there's a while where, I wasn't playing Magic. I had taken a break during the period where Dark Depths was printed.
Yes.
And I had never actually seen the token.
Yes.
For a while, even like after I had played against lands for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned that the token was foil. It's just so sweet.
It is a great token. 20 damage upstairs. I was gonna put Tyler to 2.
You only ever need 1 as well.
That's what's nice about it.
Yeah.
All right, and I think we're gonna see Matt replenish his hand with Punishing Fires, and he also has, if anything goes wrong, a second Mirror Lage next turn.
Sure.
Punishing Fire your Mem Knight. It's dead.
As it was meant to be.
Yes. Port in the upkeep, taking down the Darksteel Citadel. It's kind of funny that he can't port the Mox Opal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not relevant, but it is funny. Tyler doing some math here, seeing if there's anything he can do to get out of this. And yeah, he's just got nothing to be the 2020 indestructible. And we're going to game 2. I wonder if he has Dispatch in his deck.
Maybe. I think that's...
It's a card you can play.
Pretty normal. Like, you play some copies in the Legacy version.
I don't know enough about the Legacy version of Affinity, but...
I think it's typically Esper colored. Like, sometimes that you even play, like, a couple of Stone Forges.
I've seen Stoneforge, yeah.
Just to get plating.
And Jitte.
Yeah.
If
that
necessary.
Seems good, too.
Yeah. Right now, Tyler just looking through his deck, seeing if there's anything he wants to take out. Nothing is... I mean, like, his deck's pretty cohesive, but... Looks like he's not interested in a Signal Pest here.
Captain QC, it is very funny that Sekal plays lands because he's like the most mild-mannered, laid-back, nice guy. He plays, the deck that's designed to bring maximum pain.
I think it's a pretty great deck. I don't think
it's awesome.
I don't think it's... Oh, there's Dispatch.
I'm not saying pain is bad.
Pain is good. I agree.
Yeah.
I think the closest analog to it is kind of like Lantern... It's like a much better version of like a Lantern control deck because it's a prison deck with a combo finish.
Mm-hmm.
Lantern's just more of just a straight prison deck.
Agreed.
Ooh,
yeah, I mean...
there's some Tormod's Crypts.
Lands has the ability to kill on, turn 3?
2. Well, it can make it 20/20 on turn 2.
Right, so actual kill on 3.
Actual
right?
can kill on turn 2. Mana Bond.
Oh, okay.
Turn 1 Mana Bond, put in the combo, kill you.
So it's more like it happens a decent amount of the time on 3.
One time.
2 is pretty rare.
Matt did that to me once.
Did it feel good?
I killed him. It was so brutal. He was just like, I was on the play. I go, ponder, keep, go. He goes, green land, Mana Bond, put in 5 lands, including the combo, and I untapped and killed him.
Oh my god. That's how you know you have a bad matchup.
Sorry. That's just, even hearing it again just makes me laugh to this day, because it's so stupid.
Phil really likes Storm.
Storm is so dumb.
That is probably something that decks I play would not beat.
No, you just like Wasteland him.
Maybe. Or Flicker Wisp it.
It's
so good.
Or Swords It or whatever.
Or Caracas.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh,
Your
God.
cards are all insanely annoying.
D&T is so much better than Storm. It's great.
Yes, that is exactly not what I would say.
That is the takeaway from this conversation for me.
Both players going to their sideboard here. I wonder if Matt has maybe some more copies of Engineered Explosives. Bridge seems pretty bad in this matchup, honestly, specifically because of the presence of Ornithopter.
Oh, boy.
But, like, I don't know. Yeah, Master Disaster Lands is a really, really good deck. Only recently sort of came to more, like Legacy enthusiasts are all aware of it and aware of how powerful it is. Only really became more clear to mainstream Magic players.
After Thespian Stage was printed.
Well,
right?
Or after Jarvis won the Grand Prix with it.
Okay, sure.
After Grand Prix Seattle. But yeah.
I guess that's the highest profile finish the deck has ever had.
Yes, by far.
Yeah.
People just demonstrating the strength. Like, people are all familiar with like Miracles and stuff like that, and this is supposedly Miracle's supposedly a pretty tough matchup for lands, but according to Jarvis, it's just fine post board.
Yeah,
combo them a bunch of times.
Once you have the Crows Grips to deal, I think Counterbalance is a problem.
Counterbalance on 2 is extremely hard to beat. You just aggressively make the combo and hope they don't kill it.
Right, but they do have Plows and Terminus, so like That is risky.
Tyler does have a surgical in his hand, but I don't think he has any lands.
Eee.
Awkward. He's gonna shuffle that one back up, see if he can find a better 6. Looks like Matt is happy with his hand though.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna keep his 7 cards. But yeah, the lands deck is it's you know, it's a prison deck that fights on an extremely different axis, but it has a combo finish, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's like pretty resilient to most sideboard cards. I don't think it's like too cold to any one thing.
No, like Rest in Peace is good against it, but it can still just naturally draw the combo. Like most Graveyard Hate, it can just fight through usually.
Crows and Grip to deal with Rest in Peace. Yeah.
Yeah, they just tend to board in a lot of Crows and Grips in any matchup.
Yeah.
Looks like Tyler's kept his hand. Happy with his 6 cards.
Good evening, Cook the Fourth.
Seemed like a sweet GP. I wish that I was there.
Me too.
We messed up. We did not plan well for that at
We'll
all.
go next time.
Yep. I just want to go to the West Coast. I haven't been there.
Period?
When I was a kid.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Nope. Tyler with a turn 1 Vault of the Whispers into Disciple of the Vault and Ornithopter. Not the fastest start and like not the most exciting start either.
No, with Affinity, I think you're typically hoping for either Mox Opal or Springleaf Drum in your opener. Also, I've seen a lot of legacy versions of this deck playing Ancient Tomb. We haven't seen any out of Tyler yet, but
yeah, Ancient Tomb is a card I've seen a lot. Also, I've seen main deck Chalice in this deck too. But I think with the Springleaf Drums and the Signal Pest, we can safely rule that one out. GP Chicago. Oh, that was 2014. Both Greg and I were at that one.
Phil did very well. I did very poorly.
I did really well on day 1. I did not do very well on day 2.
Okay.
I 8-1 day 1, and I think 3-3 day 2.
This is before we knew each other, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and we were playing the same deck.
I wasn't living in Chicago, I think.
Ah, I see.
All right, we got turn 1 Exploration into Gamble. Tyler gonna give Gamble a read here. Gamble's a nice one. Gamble's just the red demonic tutor.
This is the demonic tutor that Red gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just better.
It's
It's better in the sense that, you know.
It costs 1 mana.
Yes, and also it's red.
It's red.
Gamble's awesome though. I love Gamble. This is a card that even as a kid I was like, this is so cool.
It's great. Great art.
Like just, you know, when you want to feel something, you play Gamble.
I think Urza Saga might have my favorite set symbol, actually.
I would agree with that.
I think it is extremely iconic and perfect for the set that it is or was.
Looks like Gamble taking out the Intuition in Matt's hand. I don't think that's the card he tutored for. Probably the Loam right there.
If anyone else has favorite set symbols, I would be very interested to hear. Other favorites of myself include Mercadian Masks. Really like that one. Tempest.
It's a mask.
It is a mask.
The Tempest is a storm. Or as some would say, a
I am a
tempest.
simple person, Phil. I have simple tastes.
It's all right. I'm not making fun of you so much as I'm
You're
ridiculing you.
always... Okay.
Just saying it's a little subtle what's going on here. All right. Attack for 1. Get in there, Disciple of the Vault.
Homelands. What was the set symbol for Homelands?
It's like a
world?
Yeah, it's like a
globe?
little globey thing.
Okay.
Stronghold's awesome.
Stronghold. Man, they're all so good. I guess it's mostly the old ones that are great. Odyssey is great too.
Jeff Nish, what about Ice Age? But Ice Age from Cold Snap, where they had it like really blocky and weird looking. That's a good one.
The Dark. That's pretty iconic.
The Crescent Moon.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I like the Dark.
The original Blood Moon looks so badass.
Yeah, it looks great. It almost makes you feel less bad for getting Blood Moon. Almost.
I imagine that when you Blood Moon someone else with an original Blood Moon, it feels even better though.
Oh yeah, I would. I've only done it like once maybe because I have Modern Masters, but yes. Rishon Import, the first land coming down from Matt. Let's see if he's casting this. Oh, looks like he's just gonna go for a Punishing Fire on Disciple of the Vault.
Yeah, it's in terms of things to Punishing Fire, it's kind of the only one to get good value. Well, at least fine value, because you go after the Ornithopter, it goes on Ravager. You go after the Ravager.
You take the least damage this way.
Yeah.
I think I would just go after the Disciple because it can end up doming you for like 5.
Yeah.
It represents the most damage.
It combos extremely well with Ravager.
Yep. And looks like we've got another port followed up with a Life from the Loam getting back Windswept Heath. So we're going to start the Loam engine now.
If I had one word to describe Phil, aside from Dill, it probably would be pleb.
Pleb. Yep. Call me Pleb Senior. Pleb on a stick. Tyler drawing Springleaf Drum for the drawing a Thought Castle turn, I believe. So having the drum will let him cast the Thoughtcast here for 1 mana by tapping the Ornithopter. Get him a little deeper in his deck. That's a pretty good one, Fine Gersh.
Dill Plubberman.
Yeah, I got it. I put it all together. Thoughtcast, well, at least let him get a couple more looks at some mana so he can get closer to this Tezzeret before Matt starts locking down his mana.
Yeah, as we talked about before these two guys even started playing, it seems like from Tyler's side, his best card is Tezzeret.
Yeah.
You know, his one single best threat.
Ooh!
Tormont Crypt.
Tormont's Crypt?
Is pretty good right now.
Seems
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
You fire that off now, you get rid of both a Punishing Fire and a Loam.
That is good value. I think it's really all you can hope for out of the Crypt.
Ravager coming in for 1.
Pretty ideal.
Oh, is he passing back? No!
No, go for it.
Loam getting dredged, flipping Gamble, Intuition, and Crop-Petition. No lands! No lands in Seckle's Yard right now.
Too many spells.
How unlucky. This deck plays all lands for no reason.
Reading Intuition.
He can fetch. That is his 1+ here, and that'll mean that he can but that'll end the turn with a Loam in the yard.
Yeah.
Meaning that he is susceptible to a Graveyard Hate spell. Not that he knows one is in the wings, but it's something to consider. It's the only way he can. But he'll want it in the yard if he wants to be able to dredge this turn, though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Matt has to put together here.
It's not good.
He can play both of his lands and Loam after fetching. He could just not Loam and leave both his lands to play double port.
Yeah.
I like the possibility of double porting. Starting things off with a fetch here. Let's see if we get a forest or another dual land. He did keep in bridge. Fetching up looks like a second copy of Taiga. All right, so his options are, it's basically if he wants to decide if he wants to loam this back now or double port. Can't do both. Oh, yes he can. I'm wrong. He can loam this because he can loam back this Windswept Heath, play it over the. Oh no, he's just gonna play Mazavith. Porting a. I assume the Vault of Whispers in the upkeep, or is he just gonna go off the Darkseid Citadel? Nope, the Vault of Whispers. I think just them communicating what card is being ported.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tyler drawing Phyrexian Revoker, which would have been good last game for naming Mox Diamond, but here I think is a little too late to do much.
Yeah, not being able to name any of the lands makes it kind of awkward. I mean,
You might as well say not being Pithing Needle.
yeah. in general, Revoker I think is okay against lands.
It's just okay though, right?
Yeah, only hitting Diamond is just like not ideal.
Ooh, there it is, Crypt. Taking out Seckle's whole yard.
Activate Crypt.
Get it. It's all gone.
It gone. There goes the loam.
I mean, this is not bad. I mean, if Tyler can just get to this Tezzeret, he can do something, but his board is pretty anemic as is. Matt is going to have to just go hard mode draw, though.
Yeah, I mean, the ports are pretty great.
Yes. Going to be cutting him off 2 mana a turn. He has 4 mana in plays, but he's only probably going to have access to 2 a turn at this point,
Yeah.
unless he draws more lands.
I think Tyler's thinking about what to name with this Revoker.
Yep. Revoker coming down.
Wonder if he comes up with Mox Diamond.
Mox Diamond is basically the only name, right?
Yeah.
He did see Explosives last game.
Okay.
Explosives is another reasonable card to name.
It's another really hard card to play when you're playing your first Legacy tournament.
Oh, absolutely.
Like any of these cards where you have to just name a card, you know, like a card that's not on the table necessarily even.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Phil just running out to check what that is naming. I think we are going to see a pass back, perhaps. Also to note, players are definitely nearing time in the round here. So we might see this one come to an unnatural end, in fact. I think we're seeing a bit of a clarification here of what Revoker is naming. Phil ran out to double check, being as Revoker is probably Phil's favorite card. Based on Phil's face right now, I believe that Revoker might be naming a card that's not present in the matchup.
No, he did name a card in the deck. Unfortunately, he named Life from the Loam.
I see. Can still be played.
Yeah,
I see.
And dredged. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Again, Tyler's first Legacy tournament.
Yeah. Revoker's a weird card, as is Pithing Needle and similar effects.
Yeah, I mean, Pithing Needle, I think he'd pretty quickly name Port.
Yeah.
But,
Ooh, let's pull up Phyrexian Revoker, actually. This is a very interesting card. One I am a little familiar with.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah.
Big fan of Revoker, are you, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, Revoker not at its best in this matchup. It really shines, I would say, against Miracles and Storm.
Yep.
Probably its two best matchups. Since those are probably the two best Legacy decks, it's a pretty powerful card.
Yep.
But not every matchup does it have a great thing to name.
He did draw Ancient Tomb.
Okay.
I think it's in his best interest to not play that this turn.
Yeah.
Hold that as long as possible. The problem is gonna. I mean, he did. Actually, no. I think he drew the two perfect lands.
Just another.
No, he needs to draw another, like, as many colored mana sources as possible.
Bonsoir to Grantfly in the chat.
Yeah. Hello, Grandfly. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome to hell.
Yes. So like he has the problem. He's going to be too short on colored mana. Like he has double Vault of Whispers. But that's not going to. If Matt just goes after the black sources every turn.
Yeah.
It's going to stop him from casting Tezzeret. All right. So.
Man, Rishan Port has been insane this game.
So is this 3 coming in?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
And just a pass back.
I don't even.
I do not like that sacrifice there.
It's really not in Tyler's best interest even to go in on Ravager. Just Mazavith is so dominant.
Yeah. Matt drawing for the turn. I believe he found engineered explosives. All right, let's see if Matt has anything of value to add here. He's been holding on to this Windswept Heath.
Man, yeah. Oh yeah, Gibbous. If there's one card I'd like for a reprint in Standard, it's definitely Rishan Port.
Or just Modern. Either one. They both seem equally miserable.
I'm down.
God. I would not.
Bring the pain.
Yeah, that sounds like uniquely painful.
Definitely makes Aether Vial better.
All right, so I believe we're very close to time here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like this match is going to be able to play out to its natural conclusion. And Sekal being up a game, I think this definitely is slanted in his favor.
Oh yeah, pretty heavily, I'd say.
Yeah. Sekal, one of our relatively more experienced players in the shop, and extremely experienced specifically with lands.
Yeah. So Sekal not porting this turn, it looks like.
Okay.
And Tyler drawing Surgical for the turn, but there's just nothing in the yards. No options. Oh no, he is porting it. He is porting in the draw step.
2 black sources.
Porting both the Vault of Whispers, yeah.
All right. So
wisely trying to keep him off of Tezzeret.
Everything else is untapping, yeah.
Yeah, there's an Ancient Tomb, which again
not having the access to double colored mana is huge.
No, there were no cards knocked off the table. Matt just has the 3 in hand right now. I think he's just hoping to draw more lands. We'll see what Tyler can put together here. It just looks like he's just got the Surgical and the Tezzeret. Neither the Surgical can only target things in his graveyard at the moment.
Yep.
Little awkward.
Just like he drew it up. Surgical, definitely a card that's good against lands, but I mean, having multiple sideboard cards usually is an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, I mean, like Surgical's a great sideboard card in this matchup.
Oh
but
yeah. It's just at the moment, he'd really rather be a Seat of the Synod.
Third Rishadan port.
That's delightful.
This is the lands deck I love right here. Is this what's happening right here?
Sometimes you get all 4.
Oh!
That's good too.
It is good. 3 lands getting tapped. You can go. Ooh, Springleaf Drum. That's a second colored mana.
It is.
Of course, not this turn.
And the third port showed up just in time.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a Springleaf Drum.
Cannot quite play the Tezzeret this turn.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It is like really enjoyable when there's when you start Thespian staging your Rishadan ports.
That is the most painful one to copy for everyone.
I disagree. I think the Lance players are like all about it.
All right.
They just love it.
They love inflicting pain.
Yep. Mazy Ravager. I mean, really, Matt's in the position where he just needs to not die.
Yeah.
Like, this game's going to go to turns.
Might
already be in turns.
As a Thalia player, I have to admit that lands is sort of like the more pure...
Prison deck?
It's like the more distilled, like higher resolution version of what I love. It's like what is it? Maybe the...
Level 0?
I was going to make like a drug analogy.
Oh my god, pure uncut.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think he's going to play this port, for, this explosives for 1? And just kill both the colored mana sources? He could do that.
Seems like inflicting a good amount of pain.
I like pain. Pain is good.
It's always a good way to judge your plays, I think, as a lands player.
Just for 0.
What's going to be most painful? What's going to be...
Because if he does it for 1, he loses his exploration, and you can't win that way.
Yeah, that's not ideal. It's the wrong kind of pain.
Sorry. This is true misery. Oh, my goodness.
Lands winning a match 1-0 seems very appropriate.
Sure. All right, so are we porting things? So I think what's happening every time is that Tyler is drawing his card before he untaps. So Matt is just like waiting for him to untap, and then he ports him. So that's why we keep seeing these delays in game actions.
Sure.
All right, 3 ports. Vault. And that thing.
Ancient Tomb. Notably, does not deal you damage like City of Brass.
Yeah, when it's tapped.
Yeah. If it just shocked you every time it got ported, that would probably be Matt's best win con.
Yeah, by far. Boom, Tezzeret coming down. We finally got there. This is turn 1, by the way.
Good grief. Yeah, you see the small die on the top of the screen there indicating what turn players are in.
Did Tyler just sacrifice his Ravager? I'm going to GPDC, Cook. Okay, not sacrificing the Ravager. I think for 1 second he was... Never mind. I'm not going to speculate as to what was to happen here. Looks like Tezzeret is going to be going up. I wonder if Tyler can win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, he has lethal next turn.
Yeah. Let's draw.
Oh yes, this is the best possible conclusion to this game. Woo! It's fantastic.
Bye, Kyle.
Tyler gotta reveal the card.
Woof.
There you go. At this one, Canada. Can't always reveal the cards from Tezzeret that reveal cards that have a specific type.
Yeah. Gotta prove that they're
That type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And magic cards.
Yes, not Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
At this one, Canada's going in the hand. Canada's not a great card. I can see why Tyler boarded it in based on how the first game went.
Yeah, I mean, if he's learning on the fly what the lands deck is,
Oh,
and
that's
how it operates.
I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. That's a Chalice of the Void on 0.
Yes.
I said it. I thought it was explosives for some
Oh.
reason. He couldn't have set it to 4 for those wondering.
Yeah.
That
why
would
not?
I think ideally he would have put it on 4,
Mm-hmm.
but not the case. Matt trying to figure out how he can not die this turn, and I don't think he has an out.
Doesn't really seem like it. He doesn't have any ways to gain life.
He has
Ooh.
EE for 1.
Yeah, 1 takes out 2 artifacts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts him to 1. I believe. Assuming that we have life totals correct.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess you make Matt pop it on 1. You can move counters. Surgical extraction. Need a target in the graveyard, right?
Yes. He can only target himself. Cards in his
All
own
right,
graveyard.
not gonna cast that one.
Yep. Here's Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus here. This card extremely powerful, given that it can just ultimate the turn after you play it.
Yeah.
And really, in a lot of other formats, this doesn't really come up. Really just modern, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Tezzeret decks are often much more controlling,
Ooh, and Sekko gonna put himself down to 12 here.
assuming we have life totals correct.
Yeah, I mean, so he can take away a couple artifacts, but if Tyler just plays anything else from hand too, that's also going to
Likely be lethal. I mean, he has the
Yeah.
cannon. You already know he has Canonist, but he can't cast it.
right. So is Tyler gonna steal this game on his last turn in turns?
Possibly. We have to probably have to double check life totals.
So yeah, untap, upkeep, draw. So
I believe we have the wrong life totals here. I don't think Cycle would put himself to 12.
No, because 12 seems extremely relevant compared to 13.
Ooh,
And Sekal just
Open a prayer.
head in hands, hopes that he can survive this.
Hey Sam, can you go find out what life Cycle was at? All right, we're gonna get a. So we got a spotter.
Yeah,
For us.
it's
right now.
pretty relevant.
This is Tyler's last turn. Before he has turn 4. Game will end after this. Cycle will surely just pass back. Yep, 2 Vault Scourges. I think this is going to be lethal.
Certainly seems that way.
He takes 6 to cast them.
Oh yeah,
13.
Ooh.
That's lethal then.
this should be lethal, assuming that Tyler ults. Yep, there it goes.
Minus
Yep.
4 Tezzeret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 16 damage.
Yikes.
Killing him on turn 4 of turns. And this is going to be a draw.
Woof. Ugh. Sekal not gonna feel good about that one.
Yeah.
So we were right. Tezzeret's the best card for Affinity in this matchup.
Wow. Good. I gotta say, I'm proud we figured that one out.
Suspend 1, 16 damage. It's a little bit better than Rift Bolt.
I gotta say, it brings me so much joy to see that match end that way.
That was pretty sweet.
That was amazing.
Tezzeret is awesome.
Tezzeret in this is weirdly, this is the only format where that Tezzeret really shines.
Yeah.
Like modern, you just would think there would be a good enough sort of deck like that, but the format is just so fast right now, and you suffer really big from a lot of splash hate.
Yes.
In particular, like all these decks, like because Affinity is a tier 1 deck, you have all these decks that just play like a bunch of Ancient Grudges or a bunch of Stony Silences
Yeah,
or
it can be-
Kataki War's Wage.
A lot of times you want your big threats to be able to be on the table sooner.
Yeah.
Like 4 mana is just kind of a little too clunky.
Yeah, like what makes it so powerful in the Legacy deck is that because you're playing basically the Affinity base of Ravager, you can play it pretty early with your Springleaf Drums, but if you do that in, like I've seen Tezzeret show up in modern Affinity lists,
Yeah.
but it's just too expensive to be
Right.
impactful.
Maybe once next year. Kyle Orman has left the building.
Yeah.
So do we only have one more round then?
We have only one more round.
Okay.
The Undefeated is a Mardu Stoneblade deck. Unfortunately, he is paired with Matt Sekal. He got paired up. So,
Okay.
Sekal
And
got paired up.
Who's
who's Nick
Nick?
Wild? Who's
yeah,
Nick playing?
So Nick is playing. He's borrowing Infect from Dominic.
He's playing a Matthew Slick, who's playing some Delver-esque deck.
Let's put that up.
That would be sweet.
What's his name? Matthew what?
Slack.
SLACK.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I
Sweet.
like Infect.
Infect's pretty sweet, and it's kind of. I'm not gonna say a mirror, but like a lot of people have equated Infect to Delver. Like,
Similar.
Yeah, they function like kind of similarly, except Infect is just more explosive.
Infect can kill sooner, but like they play out similarly, I find.
Yeah. You're playing a good amount of the same spells, you know? And like your Ink Moth, well, I guess there's no real analogy to Ink Moth, but like your Glistener Elf is like your Delver.
A little bit, yeah. Like you just have, instead of like removal spells, you just have these pump spells.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to. But you have like a lot of similar other spells and counters and
Right. The base of blue instants and,
and
sorceries.
cantrips.
Yeah.
But yeah, Legacy Infect in Figure 8 is easily one of the best cards of the deck. This card is dumb.
Probably the best art. I don't think its use in Infect is quite what they were originally intending.
Nope,
with
I don't
the
think so
printing
either.
of this card.
Yeah, they just wanted to, lift up a Wumpus.
Yes. A lot of good Wumpai in that set.
This block is the main block for Wumpus, the creature type.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't
Really
know,
on display.
don't know if you know this, but a very, very powerful vintage card, Thrashing Wumpus.
Is it?
Delver can't beat it.
That's not surprising.
Put that into play, and every Delver and Pyromancer is just dead for the rest of the game.
Yes.
Thrashing Wumpus.
Can we pull up Thrashing Wampus real quick?
Yeah, here's Thrashing Wumpus.
Okay, cool.
Tribal Wumpus.
Oh, yeah. I had one of these back in the day.
Just a Pestilence on a 3/3.
It has sweet art.
I like it.
Sweet art.
Let's head down to the play area. See if our players are getting shuffled up. They are. Nick Wild going to be on the left. Matthew Slack on the right. Both players, I believe, currently 1-1. Have to double check here. Think so. Yes. This is Nick's first time playing Infect. I know. He played Legacy for his first time 2 weeks ago with what was it? It was Storm. He borrowed my Storm deck.
Yeah, how do you like it?
I think he liked it a lot. I mean, I think that's how when most players pick up Storm for the first time. Ooh, that's bad.
That's a first.
I'm gonna put Delver here.
Want me to go?
I got it.
Alright, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but it seems like there is a random surgical extraction hanging out on the floor there.
I blame the Wumpus.
The wild Wumpus.
Let the wild Wumpus begin.
Oh, man. That is the first time this has happened. Ooh, and Nick looks like he has an awkward draw with both copies of Berserk in his opener. Usually, Infect only plays 2 copies of Berserk, so to have both right off the bat is pretty unfortunate. Let's bring up Berserk for anyone who's unaware, but the copy that has been loaned to Nick is fortunately the beta Berserk. It is great art. Let's see where beta is. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Alright, so we have Matt falling down to 19 here on the play, getting a Volcanic Island. Whose was it? Whose was it?
It was
Our previous, yeah.
Berserk.
Yeah, Nick has a bit of an awkward hand. He has both Berserks in his opener.
Ooh, boy, that's not great. Oh man, I hope we see him Berserk a Delver.
That's a totally reasonable use of Berserk.
I've seen I've definitely seen Tom Ross do that to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you do. You can do a lot with double Berserk. It's just very all in.
Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, Nick has a Brainstorm, so if he doesn't want both, he can always pull one back.
Yeah. So Matthew going to shuffle away on this ponder. Didn't really like what he saw. Yeah, he's got the Inkmoth Nexus, which I think he's just going to slow roll as long as possible.
Yeah, also looks like he has Blighted Agent in hand.
Great.
So these players sitting at 1-1.
Only playing 3 rounds tonight because we again have the unfortunate consequence of dealing with the winter and people are just not excited to leave their house.
Yeah.
That's Chicago, man.
Yeah.
There's really no getting around it.
It's kind of cold out.
Yeah. It's actually pretty nice today, but
It was less cold.
No, I don't mind it at all. All right, this looks like it would be at least a mostly blue-red Delver version. We see Stifle, Daze, Lightning Bolt, Ponder, and 2 copies of Young Pyromancer.
Seems like a pretty decent hand.
Looks like he's really looking for that second land. He should be able to find it off that Ponder, though.
Well, yeah, so with his first Ponder, I think Matt shuffled there looking for the land.
Pretty great draw from Nick, though. He found a Noble Hierarch on turn 1. Noble Hierarch is really excellent here.
Noble is just so good.
I would have been a little tempted to Daze back, just because you know you're getting it, but I guess since you know it's just going to bolt it otherwise, it's fine to let it just get taken away.
And no Ponder from Matt.
Just going to pass back, hold up Lightning Bolt.
Okay.
Here's Blighted Agent.
Blighted Agent gets bolted, but then that gets dazed.
Yep. I like this Daze a lot by Nick.
Oh, yeah. These first couple turns have been super, super interesting. Like, there are so many iterations the way these spells could have played out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When players are fighting with a million spells that can be, like a bunch of spells that can be cast all for 1 or no mana, and they can all be used in slightly different ways at slightly different times, it just gives a lot of room for skill to show through.
So so Invigorate is lethal this turn.
Oh yeah.
Is there any other pump spell that's lethal? I don't know if they play any other pump spells besides Invigorate, honestly. Like I can play like a random Groundswell or a Might of Old Croza, right?
No, I think it's pretty common.
Just Invigorate and Berserk.
I mean, that's the kind of the nice thing about having a bunch of cantrips. You just find your Invigorates more commonly, right?
It's true.
I think you play a few copies of Vines.
Oh, Vines for sure. Vines not lethal here though.
No.
Since you want double green.
Yeah, and more colored mana.
All right, Matthew. Looking at this Ponder here, trying to decide if he wants to keep. Again, we're not totally sure what colors his Delver deck is besides blue-red. Perhaps he's playing a third color, but it's unclear. Ooh, Force of Will is a good pickup here. And Polluted Delta. It might be Grixis.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nick going to untap. Finds another copy of Blighted Agent. Plays a Tropical Island. Right now, Matthew knows every card but that Blighted Agent. Here's an attack for 1.
1 poison. This is the nice thing with Infect, too. You can get these little chip shots in, and you kind of just make opponents use mana in not great ways, and when they actually have to tap out for something more meaningful, then you can use your pump spells when the shields are further down.
Yep. All right, so it looks like there's a Force of Will taking out the Blighted Agent there, and then a cracking of a fetch land. So I'm just fixing the order of this.
Turn 1 Lackey, Forge Bolt would have been very sweet there.
That would have been pretty nasty. It looks like it is going to be a Grixis Delver deck here. And Young Pyromancer are coming down.
Here's
one of the
one
two.
Of those spots where Invigorate would just be lethal, right?
So Brainstorm this, and what's so gross is that if he finds it off here, it
costs no mana. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. And he's got a Daze.
Yep.
He even has the Daze.
This is lethal.
Dumb.
Puts back 1 Invigorate.
Irrelevant.
He just has to keep Invigorate
land
Berserk,
and a Berserk. Yeah.
And the Daze as protection.
The Daze should.
There have to be 2 Force of Wills, or like Force of Will and Daze to stop this.
Well, but you know he has another Pyromancer in his hand. So
right. Yeah, it's impossible, right? So.
Wait, did he just put back the land?
I think he has a fetch. Is that
no, he's got a probe. He's just
okay.
That makes sense. We probe. We see Matt's hand is all bricks.
Okay, and yeah, now draws the colored source so he can cast the Berserk after the Invigorate.
Yeah, he just needed the land.
Yeah. Plays Trop.
He gets to go. And,
I guess you declare the attack because all of your spells are instants.
Well, that's when you have to cast the Invigorate.
Ah, okay.
You only cast it before the combat
Berserk,
damage steps.
The Berserk.
Berserk, excuse me.
Yeah.
So Invigorate, Matt gains 3. He's not going to Berserk?
I think he will.
Oh no, they're just doing the life totals. Never mind. Then Berserk it.
Yeah. Game one handshake.
I like the game one handshake.
Gotta love it.
That's gonna be and that'll be it for that. Nick gonna be on the draw for game two.
I like how Nick played that game.
I did too. I was a little. I thought he was gonna daze earlier
To protect the noble hierarch.
but I think that would have put him too far behind. I think he recognized that the hierarch was not of very much value in this game,
Yeah, it wasn't like completely vital.
and it was more important to protect his blighted agent from that lightning bolt. So I think he chose his spots well.
Yeah, totally. That was impressive.
Looking through his sideboard, I saw Teferi's response.
Oh god.
That's a nice one.
Teferi's response cost me a good amount of money.
Did it, Greg?
Once upon a time.
One time, Greg got so savagely blown out by a Teferi's response that he didn't make top 8 of an open.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I got 12th. I lost to a very good Infect player, so there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
It was not Tom Ross.
Nope. I want to point out that that's a higher finish than I've had in a 2-day open.
Ooh.
I top 8'd a 1-day open. But
Okay.
it
I've
was
never top 8 an open, so you have that on me.
It was 11 rounds.
That's a lot of rounds.
It was 700 players.
Wow.
It was gigantic.
I once got, I think, 9th at an open that big. So that was cool.
9th, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. How'd you feel about it?
Oh, it was great. I went 9-2.
Just picked up the losses too early?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Both players looking at their sideboard here. I wonder if Matt is going to decide to board in Cabal Therapy. This is kind of a resource battle. So it is a 2-for-1 in that regard. But picking your spot seems pretty difficult, and I think both players go hellbent pretty quickly.
For therapy, yeah, I agree. I think you want to fight maybe on the stack.
Or on the board.
Yeah, not in the hand.
It might just be a bad use of his mana. Like, I don't know how it compares to Stifle. Stifle I don't find to be particularly powerful in this matchup. Like, what's the upside? Fetch lands? That's about it. Give us that's pretty funny.
Do you feel that way sometimes when you watch other people play Storm?
No,
Really?
I don't think sometimes.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
happened to me sometimes watching people play D&T.
Some people make mistakes. That's fine.
I know it is fine.
I only feel like bad when the mistakes are just like, like when I know the player's been playing for a while, and they just make these very obvious mistakes that are just like, costing yourself pretty significant percentages. I feel bad, but like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's those situations where you're watching someone in a tournament, it's like, oh man, I really wish I could, if you've had like a similar experience, maybe even like a hard decision, but you think that you definitely know the right thing to do, and you can't just like tell them, because it's a tournament.
Yep. It happens.
Yeah.
That's all right. I watched a friend just misfetch for a land for top 8.
Ooh.
Like, stuff like that happens. Like, you just
Yeah.
like aren't paying. You just like make one small mistake.
Mm-hmm.
All right, both players looking at their opening 7s right now. Both players seem to be happy, and there's that tropical island and a Deathrite Shaman. I love the tropical island that only the Deathrite Shaman volcanic island deck is just always so funny to me.
It is peachy.
All right, Nick has a bunch of lands in his hand, which isn't ideal.
Yeah, he does have a chunk. Does he have a brainstorm? Because that fixes everything.
I'm not certain that he did.
Okay.
Starting things off with the fetch for tropical island. I like fetching early, just like at least with one of these, just to make sure that you're not going to get blown out by Stifle. He's going to start things off with a Glistener Elf. See if this was met with a Daze. Nope. That just lets it resolve. Oh, we did draw Stifle for the turn. Let's see if we have a removal spell for this Glistener Elf. 2 mana. Here is Young Pyromancer. And a pass back. Nick drawing. There's an Invigorate. Doesn't quite have the combo. He's going to start things off with a Brainstorm. Does draw Berserk. So he could attack here and just see if Matt blocks, but it seems pretty poor in the face of a Deathrite Shaman. Expect 2 lands. Plays a fetch land. Matt's going to eat a different land in response for blue mana and stifle that fetch land. And Nick has no effects to respond to that, so getting Stone Rain there is pretty gross. I don't think Nick has another play here, given that he has Blighted Agent, Invigorate, Berserk, and 2 Tropical Islands in his hand. He's in a bit of a rough spot. He's going to attack for 1. Not a huge fan of this attack. I don't think Nick is either, actually. Just sort of throwing his Glistener Elf away for a 1/1 seems pretty low value. All right, Matt drawing for the turn here. See, if he can string together some cantrips, this is going to end up going really poorly for Nick. Just an attack for 3. And we see another Deathrite Shaman come down and a pass back. Nick draws. He finds a Wooded Foothills that he had attempted to shuffle away last turn. Plays it for this turn. Let's see if he decides to run out this Blighted Agent. Tries fetching. Matt says it's fine.
Pauses.
He got once.
Yeah.
I don't want to get got again. Finds the 4th Tropical Island.
Yeah.
2 more in his
In
hand.
fact, one of the few Legacy decks that actually plays the full 4 copies of any one duel.
Yeah. I think the other... does Sneak and Show play 4 Volk or just play 3?
Maybe it's 4.
That's like the only one I
yeah.
can think of. And there's Noble Hierarch coming down. This will at least help any soft mana battle, but I think this is just going to get bolted. It's getting a Brainstorm. Getting a token.
It's like an RK Post token.
Ooh, it's a
Yeah.
nice one. I like the ones he did that are Venture Brothers-esque.
Nice, yeah.
Those ones are Venture Brothers art on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're really cool. All right, Matt going to put back 2. It looks like this is an end-step Brainstorm. I don't believe this is in response to anything. Nope, just going to untap. Draws.
Adds more power to the board.
Nick could Berserk a Pyromancer.
Yeah, he could.
Maybe not the best use. Considering he has both Berserk and Invigorate in his hand and
Yeah.
Blighted Agent, I think his one goal is to find a Vines.
Yeah, just protect the kill that you have in hand already.
Yeah. Four coming through, putting Nick to 10.
Yeah, Vines would be pretty sweet here.
And there's another Pyromancer. Man has a lot of creatures this game. And he's
Yeah.
gonna start draining. This might be close to lethal next turn. Unfortunately, Nick getting really that stifle was just so brutal.
It was.
Oh, sorry, he did not know that Forest was there. That was a random draw. Just
So-
a not great draw.
Seems like he kind of, at this point, he has no choice but to just run it out and hope that Matt doesn't have a removal spell.
I don't think he has any other play. If he waits
Yeah.
another turn, he's just gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if there's a bolt here, that's all but lethal anyways.
I mean, if there's a bolt, I think you invigorate to save it, and then hope you draw another invigorate.
You might just be dead anyways.
You might. Yeah, I chump with Noble Hierarch on a 2-power creature, but the drains might just kill Nick.
Yeah, so I mean, he's gonna go end step, fetch Underground Sea, drain down to 8, untap. He has attacks for 2, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 8. Yeah, like there has to be a chump block here. Another land would be lethal, I believe.
Yeah, another black source.
Not necessarily, not through a chump block. Ooh, but yeah, all right. So we see activating.
Yeah,
killing off this
I
Brainstorm.
don't think it's lethal currently.
I'm not going to go all commentator lethal here and assume that I know what's going to go on here, but it very dependent on Matthew's hand here.
Okay.
That's probably going to be lethal. Pretty confident about that one.
Yep, that's a good one.
Actually gets 2 tokens from
Welcome to Legacy, Nick.
that. Or Submerge.
That's a card that sort of lends itself to blowouts, I'd
Gosh.
say.
Submerge is a ridiculous card. Ridiculous sideboard card.
Great art, Nemesis.
Yep.
Not the best set,
No,
not the most powerful set ever.
but a strong set symbol.
Strong set symbol.
Oh, this is a bolt? Dismember? Jeez.
Yeah, alright.
Hey, we're dead here, yeah.
Nick.
Packing that one in.
Nick
No.
is not looking to waste anyone's time.
Nope. I mean, he was just dead on board anyways. So we're going to get to see a game 3 here from these two players.
Tough game for Nick. I think this matchup probably favors Delver.
All of Matt's spells were just so good that game. Like,
Yeah.
he got a Stone Rain, He has removal spells like his submerge, and like a reasonable clock.
Like from the infect side, the kind of decks you're really hoping to play against, I think, are like miracles.
Abrupt Decay decks.
Yeah.
I think like that's what Tom Ross said initially when he started playing this deck.
You want to play against Shardless every round?
Yeah, like just Abrupt Decay style decks, because those decks, well, two things. One, those decks have a really hard time against Inkmoth Nexus. And two, you have such a mana advantage against these decks.
Yeah.
Like, while Abrupt Decay will almost always kill your guy,
it's
if
usually
you manage
not
to,
at mana parity.
yes, and if you are able to, like, if you have like a Vines or something like that,
Yeah.
you just end up like getting so far ahead. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes in game 3. Yeah, Submerge is a nice one.
Oh, it's gross. I mean, yeah, the Delver deck post board just is not going to have many spells that line up poorly.
No, like they become this just gross lean machine,
Right.
that finds whatever it needs, thanks to the power of the cantrips.
Cheap removal, 1 mana removal, wastelands for
Free-
Inkmoth.
Free spells.
Yeah.
Like between Submerge, Daze, and Force of Will, there's just like a lot that can really help you out. I wouldn't be surprised to see no Dazes in either player's deck for this game. Daze is just so poor against Deathrite Shaman and Noble Hierarch.
Right.
And it's just an unreliable way to save things. Like, it might be just better out of the Infect deck just because Nick is on the play this game.
Yeah, and you also, I think if you're Nick, you probably are more favored in a shorter game. And Daze lends itself to a shorter, like being good in a shorter
I think
game.
it's much better than Force of Will. I think Force of Will is very poor here.
Agreed.
I would not want to have any copies of Force of Will in my deck. Like, Force of Will is such a weird spot in Legacy where you really do board it out a ton. It's just not great in a lot of spots.
Yeah, which is funny, because so many people have a conception of Force of Will just being, this absurdly powerful, perfect card.
Yep, it's good.
Looks like Nick is looking at a hand of... So Forest is the only land, but he has 2 Noble Hierarchs. Does have Force of Will, Brainstorm, Ponder, Berserk. I think that's a keep.
Yeah, I would be pretty tempted to keep this hand. I mean, like...
If your Noble Hierarch gets bolted, that's
you're not
obviously
happy.
unfortunate.
You're
but
not happy
you
about
have
it.
another, at least. Yeah, so...
Oh, it feels good to see your opponent mulligan now, keeping this hand.
Always feels good.
I won't deny that, but yeah, he definitely doesn't want to see his Hierarch get like gut shot or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't think gut shot's in his deck.
that'd be a little gross. A little more. I don't think we see gut shot as much in Legacy as we do in Modern these days.
Man, gut shot was. I can't believe that was a 4 of in Standard. 3 to 4.
It was very good.
Yes. Man, gut shot's a nice one.
There were a lot of 1 power things to kill in that Standard, like Birds of Paradise.
Yeah, Force of Will is less of a. It's a format defining card in the sense more so in that it's a format rearing card. It keeps things under control. It stops your opponents from doing consistently degenerate stuff. And it's very important in that regard. Oh man, let's seize the grip. This is a real good Gitaxian probe. We see Ponder, Force of. He does have Force of Will, Brainstorm, Noble Hierarch, and Berserk. I'm not in love with Nick keeping in Force of Will here.
Yeah, I kind of get why he did, though. And it might be that he only has, like, 1 or 2 in the deck. He might not have wanted, like, all Dazes or something.
Yeah, I think Infect tends to play a pretty low number of Force of Wills in general.
Sure.
There's a Volk. Do we have a Bolt?
I can't imagine not using it there.
Yeah. It's just going to pass. Oh, there's a Probe. Probe is a nice one here.
Yeah, leading with Probe seems like a awesome start.
Oop, Submerge, Ponder, Wasteland, Pyroblast, Volcanic Island, and Stifle. All right, that's some stuff. Feel like this Pyroblast is going to go right after this Ponder.
Mm-hmm. And then the Submerge might go after the Noble Hierarch.
I'm actually a little shocked to not see it.
Yeah,
Topps
right?
didn't go after him anyways.
Totally.
Just time walk him? Maybe that's too aggressive, but...
Maybe. Yeah, maybe he was looking for more value.
Become Immense drawn by Nick there. All right.
Brainstorm first. I guess by having... Ooh, no land.
And 2 Dazes? I
Yikes.
don't love Nick leading with this Brainstorm. I think you definitely want to lead with Ponder here.
if Submerge gets cast, Nick is gonna have to forcible it
Why?
just to keep his blue source on the table.
He's gonna play another Hierarch this turn. He has 2 more Hierarchs.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I think we're gonna see creature beatdown this game. I'm like a little confident in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Second Hierarch, we good?
All right.
I think like Matt has to draw a spell, a
Yes.
creature. Excuse me. He has to draw something that actually kills Nick.
Yeah.
Just draw a second Volcanic Island and ponders.
Interesting.
I
Playing around days there by playing the land first.
no.
Oh yeah, it couldn't be days.
Yes.
Okay.
You figured it out. It's okay. You can't return a forest unless it's also an island, which that one is
Most of
not.
them are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most of them are in Nick's deck, but just not that one.
Yeah.
Looks like he's keeping off of the ponder and just passing back. Nick drawing the days he put back here. I think this is going to see a ponder. Oh, I would be pretty excited to Pyroblast that, but Matt going to turn it down. We see
I think Inkmoth.
Inkmoth is very good, even, but there is a Wasteland.
Yeah,
I don't even-
Matt's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think shuffling is completely fine here.
He's looking for a trop, right?
Trop, Glistener Elf.
Yeah.
Any Infector is really good here. He has 3 Exalted creatures,
Right.
and he has a Force of Will to protect them from a potential Submerge.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he found
Tropical Island. Excuse me.
Windswept.
Windswept Heath. That, got to be careful with that one.
for Stifle.
Yes. Attack for 3? Or a pass? Yeah!
All right. Kind of confident. This looks like a normal damage game.
Oh,
now.
yeah, it does.
He's got comments and Berserk.
I want to see it happen.
That's
And a Force
that's
of
a
Will.
lot of damage.
I mean, Matt has a Stifle for this land. He has a Submerge for any potential creature shenanigans. He's a Delver.
If Matt taps low at all,
Oh, yeah. Nick just kills him. Which is...
because just Berserk or Become Immense plus Berserk is 6 or 12.
plus the Exalted triggers.
So that's 18.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of trample damage.
Unfortunately, Matt is very well insulated right now because of the Pyroblast. The Pyroblast specifically going after the Force of Will. Like, he has Submerge, which takes care of any creature. I think Nick has just to be, like, very patient.
Okay. So you just, like, attack for 3 again?
Yeah. It's like you build your own Delver.
And Matt cannot really block with his Delver.
Nope.
He's might be thinking about submerging.
I mean, that's great if you're Nick getting Submerged. You just play another one next turn.
It's
Just
very.
play the same one next turn.
I think it's very wise of Nick to hold his fetch.
As long as possible.
Yeah. To when he actually wants the tropical island.
Ooh, is he fetching now? This seems...
Because now, in response to the fetch, couldn't. Maybe
just gonna-
this is after damage.
He's just going to let it happen?
I think this is after damage.
Well,
right?
I'm just surprised Matt didn't Stifle.
Yeah. I don't know what would be a better stifle target.
It's like Matt's just going to take 3 here.
This is, I wonder if this is before or after damage. Okay.
No, this is
This
before.
is before. Going for Become Immense.
I don't know how this works out for Nick.
Yeah. Oof.
Like, the Submerge itself is just a beating, and there's Berserk.
He's thinking that he has the force to cover the submerge.
He had
Right?
a Pyroblast, didn't he? Am I insane?
Well, if he has those 2 cards, did Nick see both of those
I
cards?
believe so.
Yikes.
Pyroblast.
Oh boy. Yep.
Oh,
no!
no!
Head and hands.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Yeah, he did know.
He thought he had him.
I think he just...
That's what Pyroblast does.
Oh, that's gross.
I mean, Matt is not out of the woods completely. He has Delver.
Oh, and Nick didn't play his land either.
Oh no.
They always flip it. Ugh.
Oh boy.
That was gross.
Oh boy.
That was gross. That made me sad.
Stuff happened.
A lot of things just happened right there.
Yeah.
All right, probe coming down. We see just the ink moth.
There's an ink moth that maybe would be better in play.
I don't know if he wanted to play it or not, honestly. Like,
Because it would just get wasted.
yeah, like maybe he wants to bait the wasteland on the tropical island.
Yeah.
But I mean, the probe obviously invalidates all of this.
Probe, as usual, taking the fun out of a game.
Probe is so good.
It is absurdly good. That noble hierarch that we knew about. And I think
Back to the beatdowns.
attack for 3.
Zhao.
Nope, lightning bolt.
Triggers on the stack. Bolt it.
Yep. Oh.
He bolted after the triggers.
Whoa.
Oh boy. And we play the Ink Moth and a pass. No reason to fire off the wasteland now. Best to untap.
Yes. I think I would like to do it before.
Nick untaps.
Yeah.
Or Nick draws.
In case of vines.
Yeah, vines would be. Well, but like, what does that matter? He's at 0 poison.
He is, but like, it still would lead to a lot of infect damage in one turn and potentially lethal the following turn.
Yeah, Nick's winning this race. It's worth mentioning.
Yes, currently. I mean, Matt has a few cards in hand, like 4 cards.
We're gonna go for infect damage here.
Ooh, switching gears.
It's a little
I
strange to me.
I think I would still go with normal because I mean the wasteland is on board unless he drew vines.
He must have drawn vines.
Yep. Wow.
Vines with kicker.
Does this
4,
get
5,
forced?
6, 7, 8. I mean, this would be lethal next turn, and this
Yeah.
kills the wasteland.
It does. At the least, right? Well, unless there's a force of will for the vines.
For what it's worth, it's still lethal with the creatures.
Thank you.
I'm just letting you know.
Yes. It's very nice of you, Phil.
Yeah, this is getting forced.
Okay.
Force pitching
That
stifle.
makes sense.
So that gets forced. Wasteland's activation resolves.
Hey, Snapcasters. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Browser was-
it's a browser with a screen cap.
Yes.
If you have a better way, tell us.
Yeah, it's since we are the only 2 doing this, it's hard to constantly be cycling in card after card every turn, unfortunately.
Again, Nick's still winning this race.
He is. Matt really needs to find like young pyromancers, generate a string of blockers.
Yeah, Pyromancer would be probably the single best draw. Pyromancer into like a probe or something like that would be perfect. There's a Ponder. Ponder is a great start. Matt thinking about this one. It's pretty important here for him not to die. Like finding a bolt or a removal spell that doesn't deal him damage. Like Dismember wouldn't be ideal here, but like finding a bolt would be able to keep him alive and let him win this race. He has kept off this Ponder. And he attacks with the Delver. Not a good sign if you're Nick. And he's going to fetch. So it looks like he found the one card. The one card he found was what he needed.
Was relevant.
Basically, Nick needs to find another Vines here. Let's see if Matt has a follow-up here. Maybe a Gurmag Angler.
That would be pretty board dominating.
That would be above average.
Yes. Oh,
Deathrite Shaman.
Okay, yep.
I mean, that's what you need. You need a blocker.
I wish that Matt separated his graveyard and his...
Exile.
Yeah.
I agree. Attack for 3 here.
It's going to be very difficult to parse out what is where.
Matt is going to block here.
And that will die.
Has a land and a pass.
So just using the Deathrite as a fog.
He didn't want to die to a pump spell, is what it
Yeah.
seemed like. Although would a pump only Vines would get him there?
Well, I mean, now he is winning the race.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm saying like
Even without any
he's
spells,
only playing.
right?
He's playing around Vines there. Vines is the
Okay.
only card that actually kills him.
Sure.
If he says you didn't draw Vines this turn, he just wins the game.
I mean, you can hard cast Invigorate.
He didn't have no mana because he didn't play the land first.
Oh.
If he had played the
You can
land
use
first,
Noble Hierarch. Does it cost 3, doesn't
costs
it?
4.
Okay.
Learn something new every day. You gain your 3 life.
Hmm.
I think Matt has to attack here.
Yeah.
Boosh. Put you to 2. Black mana.
Berserk would be a good draw.
Cabal Therapy.
Naming.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna. Nick just has a land in hand. We'll see
Yeah.
what he names, but you probably have to name Vines.
Ooh.
Bolt you! Oh man! And Matt
Yikes.
taking that one down just barely. I'm assuming he named
Force a Will.
Force of Will.
Or, yeah, Spell Pierce. I don't even know.
Hydroblast. Hydroblast, I think, is the right name.
Yeah.
Hydroblast gets you real good.
It
Anyways,
would.
Matt taking that one down 3 games to 1.
2 to 1.
2 games to 1. Almost had it right there.
Yeah.
That was a sweet match. I mean, there was some, like, obviously Nick messed up a little bit there, and so did Matt, but, like, it was still really fun to watch. I really enjoyed that.
It's an interesting matchup.
Yes.
Just by nature, I think.
Absolutely. That's going to be it for our stream tonight. I wanted to thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate it, as always. We really had a good time. And once again, congratulations to Greg for qualifying for the Pro Tour. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully, I get to join him this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play well.
Yes.
Anyways, quick shout outs to MTG Card Market here in beautiful Chicago, Illinois.
The frozen tundra.
Yes, buy their cards, read their articles, hit up their website. Streaming schedule is Wednesday 7:30 Modern Central Time, Thursday 7:30 Legacy Central Time, and this Saturday.
Yep.
If you're not checking out GB Houston coverage and you're fixing for some Modern action, there is a 2K here at MTG Card Market. This Saturday, 10 p.m. I believe 10 or 11 p.m. is when it's going to start. I think 11 is when the stream gets going.
Sounds right.
But yeah, tune in for the stream. Support them. We're gonna have Paul and Kyle.
Yeah.
Paul and Kyle Fouché, who did Modern yesterday.
Yeah,
Are gonna be taking care of business, and I think it's gonna be really awesome.
Like 10 hours of modern coverage.
Yeah. Last time Greg and I did it, and we had a ton of fun. It was just awesome watching the new Modern format. Now we get to see it with like the real Eldrazi deck built. We didn't get to see a ton of Eldrazi our time.
Yeah.
We just saw like the processor version, but now we have actual Eldrazi, a real dominant force, and we're gonna see how broken the format is.
Absolutely. It's pretty broken.
It's not in a good spot, but come watch the 2K.
Also, Card Market's going to be vending at GP Detroit in
Yes.
2 weeks.
Make sure to check them out.
Phil and I will also be there because we don't like to sleep in our own beds.
Nope, don't like it. Just for the week. I will say, last time we had the 2K, it did sell out at 80 players, which is pretty awesome. So it's going to be a packed house. Going to see a lot of cool decks.
Yeah, some people had to get turned away, so
Yeah.
I would recommend pre-registering.
If it's even possible anymore, I'm not even certain it is. They might have already sold out.
Correct. Ignore me.
Anyways, thanks again for tuning in. Tune in on Saturday, please. Send your support our way. Follow us on Twitch, and thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.